Okay. Can you guys hear me now? If you're interested and you can hear me, please do let me know. I think the sound is coming through now. Again, like I said before, we will talk about try to reconstruct the defensive line, because you could argue that is where we have the biggest problem in terms of the reconstruction process. For obvious reason, we will be losing 5 defenders. We'll be losing. We'll be losing. We already lost Antonio Rudiger. You could say we will be losing because he hasn't left yet until his contract expires, which is not now. We're going to lose Andreas Christensen. What's his name also? Marcos Alonso, and maybe I think Cesar Azpilicueta may well join them, but I think he's just because of his love for the club, he's being patient to see who the club will be able to bring in before he decides on what to do. He doesn't want to, add fuel to the fire in terms of the situation. So again, today it's going to be a long one, and it's going to be an interesting one, and hopefully I'll get some people on the panel soon to join the process to make it even more interesting. If not, I'll go solo, and believe me, it will still be fun for you. So let me look at the people, what we have in the chat already. Here, we have Phantom says he's the third to like the video. Congratulations to you. And we have Liam saying, Blue Morning, Coach. And to everyone joining the chat, Blue Morning to you too, brother. I appreciate you coming around. And again, this is me saying, please, if you like the video, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And today, remember, we'll do a $50 giveaway to celebrate 2K subscribers. So I hope you stay. Thank you for reminding me. I would have been going on and on and on without knowing you cannot hear me. And I thought I tested my microphone before I started. Again, let me know if the sound is clear or if it's making that noise you guys said it was making yesterday, so I can fix it immediately. Blue morning and good morning. Same to you, my brother from the Madiba land. So today we have, we're going to try to reconstruct the defensive line. But first, I think some update in terms of the update, I think it's important to talk about the rumors that Chelsea have begun talks with Ousmane Dembele's camp, and may well, finalize his signing as soon as possible, even before the signing of Jules Kounde. I don't know how factual that is, but the truth is, when I heard that he is not going to Paris Saint-Germain, it was obvious that more likely he'd be coming to Chelsea Football Club, and I hope they're prepared enough to deal with the PR nightmare that he will cause when he comes. Jacob Juma says, Blue morning, good morning. Blue morning to you, Jacob Juma. I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you here. And morning to you, Matty Lee Benjamin. It's a good thing to always see you guys. You guys brighten my day, and it's a family here. So good to see that everybody is fine. Says Matt Azivoli sent you a link to us on his channel. Oh, he's a brother. He's a serious brother. And because usually this show on my side starts at 3 a.m. So he's around 2 a.m. So I usually miss his shows because I probably was still sleeping when he started. So tell him I said, thank you very much. He's a true brother. And he's, a legend in terms of content creation, and his channel is growing really fast. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Nice to see you here again. Says Reg says, I saw welcome to Chelsea, the 4 players. Really? Okay, you saw the videos. Yeah, I think they're all good players. It remains to be seen which of them we can get. Good morning, Blues. Watching you from Ghana. Good job. Thank you very much for joining for Ghana, and I hope you're doing well. And says Matthew Benjamin, thumbs up. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that. And anyone heard anything about a possible bid for Zaha? That is one thing that I don't want to see. We have some forwards already, and none of them have left. And you could argue it will be pretty difficult to bring in any forwards without some of them leaving. And again, it says again. says, good morning, Blues. And Phantom says, my throat needs some rest. Still get over cold, COVID negative. Oh, good to know that you're COVID negative. In my case, I'm still going. I see if you see how I'm sounding, you'd see that clearly I'm still, in the process. I'm still dealing with cold. And pardon me, let me take a sip of my coffee so I don't lose my voice. And by the way, Tobago, I've sent you the link in case you have time to join us. Tobago says Zaha, no. And I'm on the same boat. I don't think we want Zaha. I think it would just be a waste of money. And I think you could argue of late, it doesn't look like he's reached that potential that we all believe he'd reach when Manchester United first signed him. Good morning, Blues. Joining from Togo. Nice to see you, my African brother. I hope you're doing well. And as you're joining, please be sure to like the video and also don't forget to subscribe. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And today, again, I'm going to remind you guys, we will do a $50 giveaway to celebrate 2K subscribers as we move on, as we go for 3K subscribers. My brother here, Gabriel Amorba says, good morning, blue morning to you. Says, Pulisic needs to go. Again, it's not that simple for obvious reasons. We've talked about why it will be difficult for Pulisic to leave. He's still young. He's still 22, 23, plus he's also, he's also a good player. He's got good potentials, and there are reasons why to give him another opportunity at the club. One of which is that he's had injuries, and you could argue because of the injuries, we haven't seen enough of him. He hasn't had much opportunity to show what he can do. And also, he's been brilliant for us in big games. He's done quite well for us in big games. Again, if you look back, you see when the bigger the occasion, it looks like the better he is. And again, I think it is True Blue. It was True Blue who talked about him, compared him to the case of Arjen Robben, who, when we had him, used to, get injured easily every now and then, and the club sold him. And if you followed the career of Arjen Robben, you know exactly what happened. The rest is history. He's exploited Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. He became one of the best players in the world. So that's why it's important that we give Christian Pulisic a chance. I mean, him staying at the club, remaining at the club, doesn't take away anything from us. You can still sign players and then keep them. And also, from a business perspective, he brings in the money. Given that last year he sold more shirts in the United States than Cristiano Ronaldo did, and given that the new owners are profit focused, I don't think they'd sell him. As long as he can still put, we can still see flashes of brilliance every now and then from him. Phantom says, I want to promote academy players. We want that to happen. But I think given the fact that we'd like to win something at the same time, academy players that will be integrated into the team would have to be really, really good. Average players will not be given the opportunity. You have to be exceptional. So let me just phrase it that way. Definitely not clinical enough. I'm guessing you're talking about Wilfred Zaha. Says could not deal with Zaha complaining through the whole game. Yep, I think that's a very good observation. He does that all the time. Why? I just don't know. Melvin Apia and Bright says Benjamin Klaus will be a smart sign in his speed and crossing ability is awesome. Watching from Ghana. Benjamin Klaus, can you tell me more about him? I don't know that much about him. From what you explained, that means he's a winger, but from what area will he operate, as a wing back or as a forward, right wing or left wing? Just let me know. Why they are talking about Pulisic, why we're talking about defenders, that's people, again, once I go back to the panel, I think we'll start talking about the defenders. I hope that happens. Smash that like button. Yes, people, smash that like button, says Gav Rhodes, so that the more you like the video, the more we reach, the more people we can reach, and the more the stream will be fun. And we have 21 people now, so you guys are doing very well. Why? We're just 11 minutes into the show, so that's good to see. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Says Are you having more people on panel? Yeah, I've sent them the link. Whoever wants to join can join. If not, I'll go solo. But I think people will join as soon as they get the chance to do so. I'd prefer Pulisic, Dembele, and Kunku at the front. Let's see what happens. Again, it depends. It all comes down to what the manager wants. So let's start talking about the defenders one by one. Again, Jules Kounde will be, a good signing for us. I'm hearing that the final price for Jules Kounde will be as around 65 million pounds. I think, which isn't bad, but I still think maybe it will be a little less. Again, the initial price that was quoted for us was around 85 million pounds, and that is the release clause, and we didn't agree to pay that. I think they agreed around 70, and then they moved the goalpost when they realized that we had already sold Kazuma and thought maybe it will be an opportunity for them to get more money for us, and we didn't allow them to take us on a ride. But that's, by the way, I'm going to come back to the panel and welcome my brother, LSC. LSC, welcome to the panel. How are you doing, brother?
Yeah, not too bad. How you doing, man?
I can't complain. She said I'm down a bit with a cold, as you can hear how I sound, but I hope to get better as soon as possible. I'm not sure how that happened, let's see. What do you think about should I say the conundrum in our defensive department, losing Antonio Rudiger, Andreas Christensen, Marcos Alonso will be leaving as well, and there's a chance that what's his name, Cesar Azpilicueta leaves before we go into trying to reconstruct the defensive line. Your thoughts on how big of an issue that is, if you want to put it that way?
Yeah, there's no way we are going to we can slice and dice it without having a cause for concern.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe with the exodus of not just defenders but also experienced defenders. People
Mm-hmm.
that on that day they can put in the shifts. I know Aspe is kind of losing the legs a little bit, but he's been a great servant for us, and his influence, his demeanor, in his personality, in the dressing room, on the training, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he's solely going to be missed, so we cannot deny the influence of some of these factors, so it's going to be an issue, and I think it affords Thomas Tuchel the opportunity to
Mm-hmm.
recreate this team in his own image.
Mm-hmm. And again, he says something, that we must recognize the importance of keeping. That is the character that is Cesar Azpilicueta, because he is Chelsea through and through, and he breathes Chelsea. And again, I think he himself, as you must have heard, he doesn't want to leave until his short things will be all right. That shows you how much he respects and loves the club, and that's why it's important. We don't just let him leave. Because I think we've been in a similar situation before. Although you could argue the difference is that in this case, we're losing players because we're not able to renew their contracts, and some of them are just decided to leave in their own. But I'm referencing, the transition from the Didier Drogba, John Terry era to the Eden Hazard, Oscar Ramirez era. How we didn't handle it so well, and then in the process we lost the spine. You could argue the metal spine that the club had then, because now you see, for instance, we play smaller teams, and you be sitting on the edge of your chair because of what we call the charity FC factor. But then when we play mid-table teams or bottom-table teams, you can be rest assured we will win those games. So again, I think you said it all. Why it's important that we keep Cesar Azpilicueta at the club. Because again, if we lose the spine of the club again, maybe the charity FC factor will get even worse. So I think you make a great point. So let's start by talking about Jules Kounde. How do you think he will fit into the current team, given that I think we're likely to sign him from what we're hearing. If the rumors are true, if I'm allowed to phrase it that way.
What I would say is this, going back to the situation with Aspe, I think, for him, it's more or less like with the situation with Roman. The last trophy was the Club World Cup. That was like a closure. That was like a closure. He's won everything. That was why I wanted Chelsea to win the Carabao Cup, and we did win this Carabao Cup because, as far as I'm concerned, Liverpool only won one trophy this season, and that's the FA Cup. Because the Carabao Cup, there's no way, whether you like Lukaku or not, that goal should stand.
Yeah.
So that was what that was. I was really sad because of N'Golo Kante, because that's the only trophy left for him to win at the club. Even Marcos Alonso, I think so. They've not won the Carabao Cup, but they won everything else. So, and in that regard, I think Aspi had an agreement. I'm not sure how true it is. Roman that give his blessing for him to leave. This summer, that was already in the plan for him to leave. So footballers, we know they get paid a lot and all of that, and whatever money Aspi has made should be contented. But there's going to be a high signing bonus from Barcelona. But my question now is this: if these rumors are true, is it not the same Barcelona that just said they can't afford Lewandowski? So how would they be able to pay the 11 million pounds plus bonus for Aspi to sign up?
Yeah, I think that's. I think signing Aspi won't cost them that much, given the fact they're not going to pay. They're not going to pay too much in transfer fees. But I think in the case of Lewandowski, they probably will be paying more, because he has how many does he still have on his contract? I think around 2 or 1, but I'm not sure. But the truth is, I think the attacking area, you could argue, isn't their priority at this point. I think maybe they need more defensive signings that they do in the attacking area. But that's by the way. So let's. I want us to to get into.
Yeah. So on the Jules Kounde situation, all right. You ask where it's going to fit. Is that role? Because I think there's going to be an interchange between him and Reece James, because I think Kounde can play that wing back role as well. So that right wing back role. See that he alternates with Reece, or he plays the right centre back role in the three at the back.
I think the best was how Kounde fits in perfectly would be. Again, I don't know if it's able to execute the Thiago Silva role very well, but I think in Sevilla, if you're in the chat, let us know what position you think Kounde plays more often for Sevilla. I think he plays the right centre back role, and I think he'll probably be rotating with what's his name, Trevor Chalobah. Again, I wouldn't. Some people say he can also lead the back line. I don't think whereas he's very good on the ball. He's under pressure. He's also calm. But I think there's something that I cannot quite lay my fingers on that where he differs from Thiago Silva, because that's why even other than what I'm about to say right now, I don't regret us losing Andreas Christensen. I'm still saying it, and I'll keep saying it. Andreas Christensen, you could argue, is the most when you talk about anything close to close to Thiago Silva in terms of leading the back line, I think Andreas Christensen will be that guy. And we saw that is a prime example of his ability to lead the back line in the absence of Thiago Silva would be the UEFA Champions League final. When Thiago Silva got injured, he replaced him, and some people were concerned. But actually, he did quite well. He didn't put the foot wrong. In the end, it seemed as if it was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah,
go ahead.
He fits in. He fits in seamlessly in that game, and he puts in a whole lot of performance. But the issue with him is his constant anxiety. Match day anxiety. I think is getting affected by it a lot. When Sari was talking about it, I thought he was just having fun. He was just having a dig. But every manager had made mention of it. Lampard has, Tuchel has. So that's an issue because you can't have a defender that is scared, that is losing
Mm-hmm.
confidence. I think, I don't know him in his personal life, but judging by his micro expressions, his body language, and all of that, you can say that he's not actually a very confident person, you know, uh, in his normal life, So I think, like you say, it can be a blessing in disguise losing him. We need someone that is ready, someone that is ready to fight. And the
Mm-hmm.
worst part of it, why this issue with Christensen really pains me, because I like the player, all right? And Chelsea has been on record saying that, if you know people around, Stamford Bridge and stuff like that, yeah, they tell you that that player, Christensen, is not
Mm-hmm.
for sale. It's not for sale. They want him to be like a symbol, just like with Mason Mount, the symbol of Cobham.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not for sale. That's how they regarded him. And if it was going to be for sale, then he should go for something very, very reasonable. But
Yeah.
it turns out that's not the case with the circumstances with which he's living. Yeah, I will have to blame Marina. If we can praise Marina for Hazard, then we can blame her for any other deal that gone bad.
That's why I'm against, I'm against blaming her for losing Andreas Christensen, even Antonio Rudiger. But that's another. If that comes up, we'll talk about it. It's because we had already agreed, terms with Andreas Christensen, and he openly said that, that he's staying. Even Thomas Tuchel thought he was going to stay, and then he moved the goalpost again, and in the process changed his agent. But that's a discussion for another day. I'm going to quickly catch up with what we have in the chat, so I'm not far too behind because I'm alone in the studio. Triply says it amazes me when people complain about losing Salah and KDB, but then say this or that player should go. Yeah, again, that's what I don't understand. Again, we must, but I think in some cases, I say this right now under Thomas Tuchel, I think some of our frontline players, especially Hakim Ziyech and Christian Pulisic, if not given the guarantee that they play more games and play in their preferred position come next season, would probably be looking to leave the club to get more game time, especially Christian Pulisic, because it's a World Cup year and he'd like to be playing as often as possible. In the case of Hakim Ziyech, I think he'd like to leave because he loves to play. He's retired from international football, but he loves to play the game. Again, I want to appeal to the people in the chat. We have 27 likes. I know we can do better than that. Let's reach for 100 likes before the end of the show. So if you haven't, please take a second to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, we've reached 2,000 subscribers. So now we're shooting for 3,000 subscribers. And we've gotten a few subscribers today. We have 2,000. Before we started, we have 2,030 subscribers. Now we have 2,035 subscribers. So let's keep it going. You guys are absolute legend. And thank you very much. And don't forget, we will do a $50 giveaway, just a way to thank you for your support. And if you want to participate, you must be on YouTube with us. So let me try and catch up with the chat again. I've read that says 350K per week for Dembele. Hope not. I think if he's coming to us, there's a chance he's agreed to a wage cut because the fact is, one second, I needed to take a sip of that coffee because my throat itches. The fact is, he comes with a lot of baggages. So if he's coming to us, I think he'd have to, make some sacrifice, and I think that would be regarding his wages because we already have our wage. You could say a structure is everywhere. Some people earn twice as much as others. Why they do even less job, and some haven't even played for a while. So no need calling names, but I know you understand what I'm talking about. And here we have Pac-Man. I think he's talking to Matthew. And selling Zuma was a very big bad idea. We did sell him because we thought we'd be getting Kounde then. And then Sevilla wanted to take us on a ride. For that reason, they moved to the goalpost, knowing that we had already sold Kazuma to West Ham United. Again, that is it. That is one thing with managers. Some manager would keep Kazuma. I think had it been Mourinho, he'd keep him because he's a player in the mode of players. He likes his physical. he's big, and also he's good also. So maybe Thomas Tuchel don't trust him that much. I don't know. And again, but that's by the way, Tuchel sees him as a replacement for Aspi. I think that may well be it. What do you think? I think you already alluded to that a little bit, LSC. Do you think? I think if you ask me, I think I'd say yes, that Jules Kounde will be a replacement for Aspi, an even better replacement for Aspi because of his ability on the ball. Because when you talk of Cesar Azpilicueta, yes, he's been a great servant to the club and also an exemplary professional. But in terms of his ability on the ball, he's not the best. And he's a leader too. But your thoughts whether Jules Kounde is, a better replacement, or even if it's a replacement for him at all?
There's no way you're going to replace the personality of Aspi,
Mm-hmm.
But on the field of play, in terms of that position, I think he's going to do a good job. He's got youth on his side.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that pace on his side, and he's very good on the ball. For a defender, I must say that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to most of the time where we sometimes you see Aspi, making wrong decisions and stuff like that. That's usually as a result of pressure from opposition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to deal with it, but I don't know if Aspi need to leave by January instead of this summer. I don't know if that would be the best option. Just so just so there can be some sort of transition. You get it? Because I don't think it's nice starting the season with fresh young defenders at the helm. Because we all know that
Yeah.
Thiago Silva is not going to play a lot of games next season.
Yeah, that's the truth. And again, if you're talking about Azpilicueta staying beyond that's staying on and ensuring that things are fine, I think the club must also find a way to compensate him for that. Because if he doesn't go to Barcelona, he will be missing out on quite a lot of money, because he'd get a sign-on fee, and then also he'd get a bump in his weekly salary. So I don't think if he decides to leave, then the club must find a way to compensate him. It's business for everybody. It's business for the club. It's business for the player, because football is what he does, to earn a living, put food on the table for his family. So your thoughts? Do you think the club would be willing, to also, find a way to compensate him? Because it will be one-sided if he decides to stay and then gets nothing extra from it. Because even if he decides to leave, I know Thomas Tuchel wants him to stay, and probably the reason will be, to still maintain the soul of the team in terms of leadership, in terms of, what Chelsea, what he's achieved already, because losing Aspi will mean like losing, it goes beyond losing a player. So do you think the club will be willing to make some measure of sacrifice to accommodate him?
Uh, they should. They should, because I look at the team now. I don't see, because this is our club, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we always, when things are going wrong, yeah, we have the capacity of going, combusted.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we have to be very careful with characters like Aspi. You see the way he speaks to the press. You see how his behavior and stuff like that. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
think it's gonna be for the role that he's been playing so far. I don't see anyone that can immediately just step in. The people that have been put forward by the fan base, they're talking about Messi Mount, they're talking about Rich James, which I clearly believe they are not up to that level yet to lead it.
Not yet. Maybe in the future.
Maybe in the future. You see what I'm saying? They barely just entered the team. Is now they are even going to get a proper contract as senior players.
Mm-hmm.
So that responsibility is too much for on their shoulders. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I would say, had it been Rudiger was still around, he doesn't need to be the captain, but he can fulfill that role, and Thiago Silva, his English might be an issue of him being the captain. So the whole
Yeah, because
situation is,
communication is important.
yeah, communication is important, and Jorginho, the rumor has it that he's one of the ones on the shopping block. So we are in a great uncertainty right now. We don't know, I hope later today everything is confirmed and we start with our transfer. So we get everything straight away and have that clarity on what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So for this guy, for Aspi, it's up to Tuchel. If they keep him, they should compensate him.
Yeah, I do agree with you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if they sell him, then get someone else from the team that can become the captain.
mhm. I do agree with you. Again, the Clyde, I'll bring you in a bit. And if you're watching, please, if you haven't, do like the video. We need more likes. Let's shoot for 200 likes today by the end of the show. And again, we already have 39 likes. I know we can do better than that because we have 105 people watching. So please, if you haven't, do take a second to like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Like I said, today, I say thank you to the followers and to those who will be with us on YouTube when we do the giveaway. You get a chance to win a $50, and that's a way of the channel thanking the followers because we got here together. It's not just about me; it's about the panelists and also everybody in the chat. Your input do matter. Here, Pac-Man SA says Kounde is a must. He's calm like Thiago Silva, good on the ball, doesn't strip, agile, good judgment, etc., etc. I could go on days talking about him. He's worth every penny. So I'll come back to Jules Kounde and I'll start the declare, but I want to try and catch up with what we have in the chat so I'm not far too behind. Says, a Blue family, we need a start. We need a start campaign to bring home Hazard. It breaks my heart to see him dying at Real Madrid. Again, that's the truth. And again, if you ask me, after that win, he was probably pretending he was happy. I don't think he is, knowing who Hazard is and how the fact that he didn't even kick a ball. I don't think he'd be happy. Yep, but then we got the 20 million plus. If that's the exact amount we're getting for him winning Champions League, that's great. I think they will be able to, because Barca are getting a read of Dembele wages. I think that's the truth. So they'd still be able to get Azpilicueta and even I'm not sure if they can still get him. Maybe they'll prioritize Aspi, or maybe I'm not sure. Well, we'll see. I don't know what they want. Again, let me see. Let me catch up here so I don't go far. Big up Coachella, non-stop working, putting in 100 like hits. Like it up, people. Yes, before the likes, people. And Deals CFC, nice to see you here, my brother. I hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you for, I think, a day or so. Have you heard the news? Tuchel wants to keep him as the next season. Again, he must have looked at his stats and see he's good enough. Actually, on the Mauricio Sarri, he did better than Marcos Alonso did. So maybe Tuchel, have watched him enough to say, okay, I think we should keep this guy. It will not be a bad idea because we have a lot of games to play, and I think it will make sense to keep him. Given that we'll be spending quite a lot in the defensive department, and Emerson won't be, and again, something else you have to consider: the primary responsibility of our defenders, our wing backs, isn't to defend but to support the attack. So it makes sense to keep Emerson. And again, he can defend well on his day. But I'm not sure what went wrong, why he started underperforming, especially under Frank Lampard and Tuchel. I think he'd be a good, it would be good if he stays. Says Kounde is mainly right-sided, but like Aspi can cover left or back as well. I think I prefer specialized players staying in their preferred positions. But again, if in some situation that maybe they need to ask them to fulfill a certain role because we lack a personnel in that area. Kounde, Koulibally, Gavidio, yeah, that's another name I forgot, would be the three center backs we should be going for. And again, don't forget we still have Chalobah, and it's not been bad. Barcelona are in financial problems. We should go after Lewandowski more. Again, it depends on how much he's demanding for his salary. Traore to Chelsea. Which of the Traores can you explain further? I say to people, I don't want Chelsea to sell players to Manchester United. Again, if they're only possible buyers, we may well sell to them. Ziyech should go back to Ajax. I think Ziyech will more likely be joining Manchester United if he decides to leave, and if the club would be willing to sell him. Again, let me see if there's anything to read here. I don't think Marina's situation to Rudiger is different to Christensen because Christensen wants to leave Rudiger. Dean, again, if we look at them, even there are reasons to say, okay, it was actually the fact that he came to this, you could, blame the players themselves. Since LSD Christensen accepted salary offered, then demanded more. Yep, that's the truth. He was offered a 5-year deal, then wanted 4, now accepted 5 from Barcelona. Rudiger played games, so could have waited and dealt with Boehly. That's the truth again. So there are reasons to see it from both perspectives. Buy flowers, primes, and viewers. Oh my goodness, somebody block this guy, please. Selling Zuma was not to buy Kounde, not to make extra for Sevilla. It gave Chalobah the chance because he was destined for a loan. Okay, again, that's another one. No Hazard to injured him. Hazard maybe if he comes back, we'll be able to take good care of him and we won't have that injury issues again. Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Morning to you too, Nick. Again, can we stop calling people names? I don't want to be triggered to do what I don't want to do. Makes sense to keep Hermes and send Colwell on another loan. I think Colwell is another player we talk. Colwell and Gilmore should return and be added to the under-21s B list. The season begins a week. I think that will make them. I think that that's you asking for trouble if you do that because they'd rather leave than be used that way. Let's be honest, Christensen and Rudiger both want money. Yep, it's business for everybody, business for the players, business for the club. It's business at the end and nothing personal. But Rudiger handled it very well and like a professional. And again, in the end, went for money. We have a whole different manager. Cut the Hazard crap. He may not want him back. Again, coming to you, Declan. How are you doing, brother?
Pick up, everyone. How's it going?
Going well, going well. You always start your conversation with a laughter. So I don't know why, but it's good anyway.
It's funny. I'm waiting.
Yeah, nice to have you on the
show.
Yeah. Nice to have you on the panel. I want to start by asking you, what do you think about the whole issues we're having in the defensive area and how many players we're losing? Do you regret us losing any of them?
Rudiger's the big one. But for a long time, I was convinced that it was mainly about money. The way he went about it, the reports, there wasn't signing. If it was going to be about money, and there was a case to be made about Rudiger, was Rudiger's great form linked to a new contract? Do you know what I mean? So as soon as he gets his deal, he might dip in form. So there was that as well. And if you were going to give Rudiger, you would have to make Rudiger one of our highest paid to keep him. Maybe worth it. Maybe it could have been a problem later. Maybe he could have dipped in form. So still, if he kept just the fact that he was the way he did perform, it's going to leave a big hole. And Christensen, now that they're all left, it's going to be the priority of. We're going to be linked to every defender, and it's going to be the priority area. There could be a case that we only go for defenders, and we don't do much with the other positions. So that could happen too. But we know for sure defenders are coming in.
Yeah, what are we going to do if we don't bring defenders in? So we started with Jules Kounde, and I want to ask you, look at this comment on the screen. We talked about it first. I discussed it with LSC, and I don't think I don't know. LSC, correct me if I'm wrong. You don't think he will be, a good fit, to lead the back line for us, because I don't think he does that for Sevilla. He's always on the right hand side, and that's a huge difference. So I want to get your thoughts. You think Jules Kounde will be able to execute the Thiago Silva role very well, or you don't? Or you think we're signing him like LSC said, and I think that's the case because people are saying he'd be able to do it because he's good on the ball. He can dribble quite well, and he doesn't he doesn't bulk. He doesn't he's under pressure. He's still calm. So your thoughts? Do you think he'd be able to fulfill the Thiago Silva role?
Are you talking to me now?
And then I'm talking. I think I've asked you that question. I'm talking
Yeah.
to Declan.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were asking Tobago. Tobago. For me, Kounde is I'm very interested to see how Tuchel's going to use Kounde, because I feel like he can play anywhere across the back three, and also in the midfield.
That's because you like his abilities, not just because you've seen him play there.
Yeah, so the biggest appeal with with Kounde is his ball playing ability, right? I know people complain about his height, this, that, but what makes him a great addition is that his ball skills. And for Tuchel, that's a big thing. For the build-up play, that's massive. But he is... It's that good as a defender that people have called him like he's close to a midfielder. So Tuchel can even put him in the midfield, right? And he could put him across the back three. You don't even know where he's going to play. I think that the person in the middle needs the greatest ball playing skills, but I would like a more experienced defender in that middle bit. But if we don't get that, maybe Kounde solidifies that position. But I couldn't say where. I think he can play anywhere in the back three. So I don't think it's for the middle, left or right. Who knows what Tuchel's going to be? Or maybe he has been brought in for his versatility.
So you're saying you think he'd be able, to fulfill the Thiago Silva role, because the thing is, even though while there's an argument of that Thiago Silva, what's his name, Andreas Christensen would have been a perfect replacement for Thiago Silva, but whenever Thiago Silva isn't playing, you can see there's a disparity between the way we play when he's playing and when he isn't playing. Yes, and Andreas Christensen is also calm on the ball, but that's you could say that Thiago Silva influencing the whole team. Even when opponents, come towards our defensive line, you can be rest assured we will approach, that's our defensive approach will be organized. It will be synced. There will be confusion. But sometimes when it's Andreas Christensen and when Thiago Silva isn't playing, sometimes when opponents come at us, you can see there is some measure of confusion in our defensive line. So that's why I'd argue I don't think I've seen him play. He's more like, you could say, in the mold of Rudiger because he's aggressive. But I want to get your thoughts. You really think he can fulfill that role?
Yeah, so the biggest priority on that role is someone with that's great on the ball, because when you're in the middle, right, if you link up all the left and right and to the DMs, right, you have the biggest consequences if you lose the ball in your position. So we need a great person on the ball there. That's priority number one. Then when you say the leadership and running the back line, yes, that all comes into play, 100%. But you can get that from the left or right. So if let's say Kounde played in the middle, but then you got a very experienced defender on the left, it could be essentially the same thing. But priority is, even if he's an experienced defender, he has to be good on the ball, or he's just going to run the back line and make mistakes himself.
Yeah, I think being good on the ball, I think you could argue, is one of the primary abilities you must have to be able to play under Thomas Tuchel. But I think you could say our back line, the way they were before. If you want to take them one by one, Alonso is just too single-footed for me. Whenever you give him the ball, he's always looking for his left leg, and to play with his right, he isn't that perfect. He loses the ball on occasions. You could argue Antonio Rudiger, as good as he was for us, he isn't the best on the ball in terms of when he's pressured and too close. The same thing with Cesar Azpilicueta, except for Thiago Silva, who would find a way and dribble the man coming, pressuring him. But again, that brings to mind what I wanted to say. My point is, yeah, you're right. Your ability on the ball must, is the primary, skill you must have to be a Tuchel player, because he likes his defenders, his team, to play out from the back. And we've suffered quite a lot because we're not well equipped to do that quite well. Whenever opposition press us aggressively, we seem to just go sideways, backward, and not be able to progress the ball. So you make a very good point. I think he'll be able to lead the back line for us, but the truth remains, again, I don't think he'd do it as perfectly as Thiago Silva. Let's see your thoughts on that question. Have we lost you? Let's see.
What was the question again, please?
Whether you think
Jules Kounde
will be able to, whether Jules Kounde will be able to fulfill the Thiago Silva role.
Yeah, we don't know yet until we see him play here with us. We are not going to judge him because Sevilla they play most of the time at far at the back, so we can't really judge him. His talent at this moment. All we can just do is appreciate the way he's been playing and his record. So if the club wants him, so they already know, they've done the analysis on how best to use him, I will assume. So I don't think there will be any issues. As long as Thiago Silva is not leaving our club, they will have enough time to bond and learn from, and he can learn from Thiago. So if he's willing, because my main issue would be the attitude. I understand he was frustrated, of the deal not going through, but at the same time, I wasn't happy with the attitude, of him trying to not, come to training and stuff like that at Sevilla, So Tuchel is very particular about the player as a person, the kind of person that player is. I think that was the main reason why he found a quick success at Chelsea, especially in the Champions League, because of if you compare the dressing room here to that of PSG, it's day and night. Over there is filled with egos. You have players that have different entourage. You have players that decide what formation they are going to play. You have players' wives that will tell the manager what formation to play, what team to play. So there was just too much power play over there. So he came to Chelsea and he saw the whole thing. He thought maybe it was similar, but he was surprised of the kind of people he met, the kind of players he met. That was why he fell in love with the club, at the very beginning, and that was what led to that success. So if Jules Kounde, let's just assume that his attitude towards Sevilla for the deal not going through was just a blip, and we can forgive him for expressing that frustration. I will welcome him here at the club.
Yeah, I think go ahead, Randolph.
Because it seems like he really wants to play for us. So that's the kind of player we want. Do you want to come here? Do you want to play with us, or do you just want the money? So I think his heart is in the right place, and I'll welcome him here.
Yeah, I do agree with you. The most important thing will be if the players we're going for, if they do want to play for us. I think in this case, what he did was just to force a move because he really wanted to come to us. He likes Thomas Tuchel. He likes Chelsea as a club. But that's, by the way, Nick, I want to bring you on. Do you think Jules Kounde will be able to fulfill the Thiago Silva role and we won't have a problem at the back line if he does? Or do you think we'll be better off playing the, Cesar Azpilicueta role?
Yeah, I think it's hard to fulfill Thiago Silva. No one can do that, really. I know I haven't seen much of Kounde. I know he's a great player. Maybe he can, or he's going to learn off Thiago. So I've in Asby's role, the right back. That's what we get buying for, not to be in the middle. We have Thiago Silva there another season. When he doesn't play, maybe he will have to go in the middle. But that's only when Thiago's not playing. That's his position. But I'm sure he can learn from Thiago. That's why it's all about. We need someone to learn quick, because Thiago might not have another after next season. I doubt he will be playing the next one. But I hope he's still at the club, whatever happens. I want him to retire at Chelsea, stay at Chelsea, and help Tuchel out. Yeah. Kounde, I think he's coming in to be the right back for Aspi.
The right back or right centre back?
Yeah, right centre back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But in the middle is Thiago. That's his position. Hopefully, we're going to get Koulibally. It sounds like we are. He'll be on the left. You know, and it's similar with Rudiger in a lot of ways. So, you know, we should have a good defense. I'm very confident, really.
Mm-hmm.
You know, once everything is announced properly today, which it will be, you know, we can move on. I'm sure they're already looking at the players they want. They're probably talking to them. They can, you know, they can talk and deals. Like I think Dembele, Kounde, Koulibally will be the first three coming in. And maybe one more in the midfield. Let's see what happens there with Tchouameni. If he hasn't gone to Barcelona, Tchouameni, he hasn't gone to Real Madrid yet. But you know, it'd be good if we can get him to be, you know, in the midfield. Then we have to see, and Lukaku, more news coming out for Lukaku again. He likes it.
Yeah, and it's serious.
He's serious. Yeah, I think he wants to go. I think he wants to go now. What I'm hearing, it seems like he wants to go, and Inter Milan are interested. They want him back. So that's good for Chelsea. If we lose out a bit of money, it doesn't matter. Let him go and bring, I know what you're going to say. He said it again. Bring Lewandowski in as soon as possible. Don't let Barcelona take him because we will regret it. I'm telling you.
Okay, I hope we do.
Boehly can do it if he wants.
Yeah, I hope we get him. I hope we get him.
Let Lukaku go. He doesn't want to be here. Let him go. You know, I thought if he wants to stay, let him have a chance. But he doesn't want to be here. What I'm hearing, I don't know. I don't think it's rumors this time. I think it's the news from his agent. You know, they're talking with Inter Milan right now. So yeah, the sooner the better, so we can start the season knowing what we're gonna do. You know, don't have players, you know, in doubt. You know, if we want to be, we don't. We're not sure. We need everyone to be on board at the start of the season. Then we can make it happen. Yeah.
I agree with you. Hopefully, we'll go for Lewandowski. After all, Barcelona are still in financial stress. We must recognize that. Fairboy, welcome to the panel. How are you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Coachella.
Okay. I can't complain, brother, except for the cold, but I think I'll get over it in a few days. Just stay away from any cold stuff. Can you just give me 1 minute to catch up with the chat, and I'll come back to you in a bit, if you don't mind, because this is an interactive show. We must carry those in the chat along. Again, I want to say thank you again. We've gained almost 20 subscribers today, and we're still at 51 likes. So if you're watching, wherever you're watching from, please take a second to like the video. And the more you like the video, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered, and the stream will be pushed to more people who would be interested in this particular topic. And the more people we have here, the more fun we will have. And remember, we will do a giveaway today to thank you, our followers, for 2,000 subscribers, and we're shooting for 3,000 subscribers. I know we will get there as soon as possible, actually in a few days, given how fast we're growing. Again, please, if you haven't, take a second to like the video. It doesn't cost anything. Like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and become part of the Blue Morning Show family. Believe me, and overall the Chelsea Perspective family, and believe me, you will not regret it. We're very objective here. What we do is, look at what's out there and then come to a sensible conclusion. Again, with that, I want to go through what we have in the chat. I talking to somebody in the chat. It says the World Cup, the season will be, because of the World Cup, the season will be compressed. The season, I said, the reason I said on the 21B list is because it is still allows 25 more players. With 5 subs, more players will get a game time. I didn't say done by 2. Okay, that makes a perfect sense. Now, let me see here. No, please. And the person that I'm saying no to knows who I'm talking to. Yeah, please, you can't do that. Again, we have saying, I feel Rudiger is very, again, I'm not going to talk about that. Let me see if there's anything to address here. I think this is about Kounde. He's good on the ball too, but some people think otherwise because he's mostly seen as a physical player. Same, I think he's a mashup. He's a mashup that is he's aggressive. He's good in the ball, and also he has that. You remember the Rudiger signature run that he when he runs with the ball from our own half to the opponent's half. And occasions came close to scoring. He scored one actually against Norwich City or so. I don't remember the team, but again. Kounde does that too, and he has a great leap in him. So I don't know why people complain about his height. Again, this is conversation going on between them. Let me see if there's anything serious here to read. So conversation between them. I don't think there's anything new here. And if you haven't, please like the video. And morning to everybody that I haven't said blue morning to. I hope you're all doing well. Again, like the video if you haven't. So I'm going to come back to the panel. Fairboy, let me know about what you think about Jules Kounde and where you think he fits into the team. Already, some people are talking about that he's able to fulfill the Thiago Silva role, and let us know what you think about that too.
Those who are saying that Jules Kounde can fulfill the Thiago Silva role,
some
right.
people talk, yeah, they're right. You think?
They are right. Yeah, they are right. He can fulfill it. And not only the Thiago Silva role, he can fulfill the Azpilicueta role, he can fulfill the Rudiger role. He can also fulfill the Chilwell role, and he can also fulfill the James role. So what I'm saying is, Kounde is able to play across the back line. So he has no problem. He's multifaceted. So such a player, yeah, he can fulfill many roles, and I think he'll be a very big asset to us. His quality would massively improve our defense, and I think he also has a lot of learning to do. I quite remember I listened to one journalist who was explaining the difference between, say, Rudiger and Jules Kounde, and he says that Jules Kounde is a massive drop-off from Rudiger, and I understand that. Why he said so, because Jules Kounde is younger than Rudiger, and Rudiger has vast experience, so he's polish his game more. But I think that Kounde, with how he's able to play across the back line, it suggests that he's a very intelligent player. A very intelligent player. So he has a lot of room, he has a lot of growing to do. But I think he'll be a very big asset to us, especially with the likes of Thiago Silva and Thiago Silva around, who can be his mentor and other things. He can only grow. He can only grow. You see, to play a Thiago Silva role, you need a level of intelligence, right? And Jules Kounde being able to play across the back four shows the level of intelligence he has. So I think that Jules Kounde will be a very fantastic signing. And if you're able to manage him and manage his talent very well, he'll be a very great asset. I think within 2 or 3 years to come, he'll be a very important player for us. So, of course, I think he can accomplish so many roles where we would need he can accomplish so many roles. Let me say it that way. So if there is even if there are injuries, he can step in for the players. For instance, Reece James, as I just said, he can play as a right back. So if Reece James is possibly injured and we don't have a direct replacement for Reece James, he can step in and I think will perform to the highest level as if he's also playing as a centre back. So I think that with the kind of talent he is and how versatile he is, he can fulfill multiple roles. And if people are saying that he can fulfill the Silva role, I think they are correct. He can also fulfill that role. So that is me in assessing Jules Kounde and his talent. He'll be a massive steal for us.
So do you prefer him in the Azpilicueta role or in the Thiago Silva role? Because the fact is, I don't think
prefer him in the Azpilicueta role.
Yeah, because he will not play in the Rudiger role, and here's where he differs from Rudiger. I think he's better on the ball than Rudiger is. That's just, again, that's just me. I'm going to come to you, LSC. Let's address his height. People's concern. Even one of the editor for Chelsea Perspective wrote something regarding his height on the Chelsea Perspective blog. What do you think about his height?
I don't think that should be an issue because he's been a professional player now for a while. The height has never been an issue. It's not in terms of height. It's almost the same height with Azpilicueta, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't see his height to be an issue. And this is one thing now. Yeah, it's like there's already a conscious bias now. So anytime there is a mistake on that hand, wherever he's playing, people are going to start complaining. They'll attribute it to his height. I think we should squash this debate. We shouldn't give it any flame at all. I'm talking about his height. Are you saying that the managers that he's played with all along, even the French national team, that they are not aware of his height? I don't think his height will be a problem because that guy can jump, he can leap.
Yeah.
So I mean that's the main concern. So as long as the backline is balanced, I don't see a problem. In terms of the role that he's going to play, I think that because talking about Silva is an experienced player. Silva is like having a manager on the pitch. All right, he can read the game.
What a sweet way to put it. I love that. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's like having a manager on the pitch, a defensive manager, so he can direct the tempo of the game, command the other defenders, tell them what to do. So he can see
without even speaking.
Without speaking, yeah, he can see it. So I cannot say that Kounde has that level of insight at this moment in time. But time will tell. So learning from someone like Silva will develop. If he has it in him, he's only going to spark it. So I would prefer to see him and Silva on the same page, playing more of the Azpilicueta role. Because I think Tuchel is going to use Rudiger as the wing back on that left hand side.
Yeah,
that's how I say it.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Declan, your thoughts on his height. Is his height an issue for you? And also, again, let us know what to think about where you think he fits in perfectly. I know I've asked you that before, but be specific. Where is his best position? Where will he fit in the best for us?
His height is a pretty silly argument that people have started when we were close to getting him. I mean, he's only 5 centimeters shorter than Silva. So does that make Silva not good enough? I mean,
you can say again.
He's taller than Azpi too. Yeah. So yeah, he's and his aerial battle stats are really good in La Liga. So that goes to show that his aerial abilities, his leap is better than a lot of players. So he makes up for it in the lack of height. And I don't think he's going to be our main. We're not buying a defender that's going to be the main person to win all the headers, depending on the positions he's in. Because we do have 3 centre backs, and we will need height in there. And we didn't have a very tall backline anyway. If you thought about it, we had Rudiger, who wasn't one of the tallest.
He's not the best in terms of defending.
Yeah, so I think our approach was a lot different. Anyway, so we didn't need a very big centre back. As long as there's decent height throughout the team for set pieces, that's the main priority when it comes to height. But in terms of his best position, I'd agree with. Sorry, I forgot who was talking last. Who said right centre back? I think many people said right centre back. Yeah.
Yeah, many people say that.
Yeah, and many people, yeah. I think because if he ends up there, that means we will be getting another defender in to play with Silva. So his position could be reflected on the other signings we get in, because I brought up the point, and other people brought up the point, the fact that he's so versatile. He could play anywhere, and his position could be dependent on other transfers that come in. So we'll see. I'd like to see him in the right centre back roles. That means would we have other defenders coming in?
I think that's a good argument. It depends on who we're able to sign. Because if you don't sign too many, he might well end up, being on the left-hand side and Chalobah stays on the right-hand side. But again, it depends. Now, here's the article I'm talking about. It was written by Chelsea Perspective. This is our blog, by the way, chelseaperspective.com. If you want to go check it out, we have quite some article there. Some one about Fikayo Tomori and some others. Let's just quickly look at it and look at some articles we have here. We have articles, one written by Dan Hill. There's one about a few of them about the club, new owners, Romelu Lukaku and all that, whether Timo Werner should go or stay, open letter to the owners. Again, if you have time, go check out the Chelsea Perspective website. But that's, by the way, the main article I'm talking about is this one right here that says why Chelsea fans should be concerned about Jules Kounde's height. Again, that's the opinion of the editor or the editor of Chelsea Perspective blog. So you might, if you want to go, see the full, read the full article, you have to go check it out on the website. But that's, by the way, I haven't. Let me ask you quickly, Nick. Do you have issues about Jules Kounde's height, and what position do you think he will fit in the best, so we can talk about the next player on the list?
Yeah, I don't know what I've heard, and I haven't watched him play that much. But when I do watch him, he can leap. He has a leap, a good leap, actually. I think it's a big issue with the height. But everyone will be not so tall. We got Koulibally. I think he's tall, taller than Kounde.
We will get to Koulibally eventually. So overall, you don't think his height will be an issue? How about you, Fairboy? What do you think about Jules Kounde's height?
I think, for me, those who are concerned about Kounde's height, their concerns are legitimate. Let's be honest. Their concerns are legitimate.
How do you mean?
Look, in the Premier League, if you're a defender, you want to be successful, your physique is very important, right? Your physique is very important. But I also think that even though they have a legitimate concern over there, I think it's how the person with that set height approaches his game, right? So I think that, like, Jules Kounde as a person, like as a defender, I think he's more like Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta has this sort of aggression in him, even though he's short. Azpilicueta is very short, but he has this sort of aggression that helps him to compete with big strikers and big defenders. Because trust me, if you compare the amount of long balls, right, direct balls that the teams in the Spanish La Liga play, it's not compared to how the EPL teams play their direct. A lot of teams in the EPL play direct football, like long balls. Okay, so I don't think we can just use the Spanish La Liga's measurements, right, and compare that to the EPL. It's a different ballgame when it comes to the way they approach their games. So for someone like Azpilicueta, he has proven that. Silva, I think, who was that? Was it declared? Who said that Kounde is, I think, 5 centimeters shorter than Silva. But Silva has proven that he can compete with those aerial duels, right? So for me, personally, as a defender for Kounde, he's an all-round package, right? I think that he will compensate his height. Like, he will compensate his height with the other aspects of his defending. Like, as the others are saying, his leap, and I think his aggression. I think he's very aggressive, and he's aggressive.
Yeah,
so he can compensate that. But if he's not that aggressive and he's short, he will be an easy target. he will easily be an easy target. So if he has aggression and he has leap, then of course the height is not a problem. So whilst I understand that the concerns with people who say that his height is a problem, I also think that because he also has other attributes that could compensate for his height, he's good to go. He can play in the league.
Anybody on the panel want to add anything to that before we switch to the next player that we want to talk about?
People talk about height and all of that. We forgot about a player that left our club to Brighton. What's his name again? Tariq Lamptey. Yeah. You know, how is he doing in the Premier League? Is his height affecting him?
But then again, here's the argument. You could argue that Lamptey, you know, plays in a position where his height isn't an issue as you know, right wing back. I think where he's go ahead. In the modern game, you could argue his primary responsibility would be to join the attack.
Right wing back, left wing back, it doesn't matter. It's in the game. You know, remember this player? What was it? Was it Aaron Lennon? This Tottenham player.
Former Tottenham player, Leonard,
All right. You know, very short guy, you know. So we are not even, in terms of age, you know, we're not even comparing that, you know. We're not even comparing him to Jules Kounde. Jules Kounde is the same height with Azpilicueta. If Azpi didn't have these problems, you know, so why should we be worried about this? You know, so it's a non-issue, and we shouldn't give it any life.
Yeah, I don't think it's an issue. I already said that before. Even when I made a video with Taran, my brother and friend Taran Sacheva. We talked about his ability. He's got a great leap in him. His height isn't an issue. I mean, he wins aerial battles, aerial duels with guys that are way taller than him. Again, so there are some. We have players who are tall, but aerially, you know, they're nonsense. But I just don't want to call names because it will be unnecessary. I'll come back to the panel. Now, let me just catch up with the chat. Again, the people talking to each other. I couldn't decide it's not a problem. I have seen him. I've jumped guys 4 inches taller than him. That is just the truth. When light be like a stalker, Manfred. Yeah, exactly. Again, those talking about his height as a problem obviously doesn't want him in the team because I don't see any difference between him and the likes of Reece, Azpi and Kante. Besides, a man can really jump. Again, that's the most important thing. He's got a great leap in him. He is aggressive too. His style is more like Reece James. And again, anything else I say, I'm not sure what that means, but that's, by the way, I'm just going to take it out off screen. Again, I'm going to come. Anybody in the panel has anything else to say before we move to the next player that we want to talk about here? Anybody? I'm guessing nobody. So I think we may well just... Go ahead. You wanted to say something?
Oh no, you can proceed.
All right. Thank you very much. Again, let's talk about Bastoni. We've been linked to him. It was I think it was DJ Saab that came yesterday when literally when I was complaining how we're losing what's his name Perisic to Tottenham, that's to them will be more like a revenge for how they lost Willian to us. Willian, who already had a medical with them, and then boom, he decided to join us. I think that differs a bit, but that's by the way. And DJ Saf talked about how we were going for Bastoni, and let's talk about it before I want to show. There's something I want to show you guys that will surprise you. Declan, is he a player you like, and how does he fit into our team if we eventually sign him?
Whoops, made it. To be honest, I don't think he's that good enough yet. And the fees that I've been hearing, what was it, like 60 mil?
I think around 77, but let me check and be sure.
70,
not give you the wrong number here.
It was a crazy number, and you're paying for. This is another young. I mean, the age is right. He's at the right age, but I didn't rate him that highly. But you're paying for the potential. He can be a very good defender. I think it's a little bit of a risk, but I mean, a good gamble, I guess. If you get him cheaper,
I think
because the numbers that were thrown around was insane numbers. If we spend that wage on him, which was like, I mean, that
it is 66 million actually. Again, that's by again, that's transfermarket.com. It could be even higher.
Yeah, so hopefully that's not right. But if that's the case, if we're going off that transfer fee, I thought it was way too much for a young player that is doing pretty good for his age, but still a lot to see off him, and will he adjust? And he would, for that fee, he would be our big name signing, and whether, I don't think he's that. It's a little bit of a gamble. So I think the fee doesn't fit the player, but if you take that out of it, I think he's a very good potential player. Still young, up and coming. I think he just made the national team too. I think I heard for the Italian national team too, and that's hard to do with their defenders. They got some great defenders in there. So, and he can play, and he might be able. I'm not sure. I'm not confident if he could play across the back three. He's just like that solid defender. I think he's gonna actually probably play in the middle, in the Silva role. I think he's not that suited for left and right.
He's left-footed, so he's left-footed, primarily left-footed. So there's a chance he'd be able to fulfill that role, but we don't know.
Yeah, maybe he looks like a good central defender. Doesn't look like the Rudiger attributes where he's like really quick and so. But maybe I could be wrong because I haven't seen him
play that often. Yeah.
So I know Inter play like that now too. So I'm not sure. So I don't think he's. Yeah. So I think my judgment was when I saw we linked on him and the price we linked for him for, it doesn't match it.
Because we have just 200 million to spend, and we spent 60 million plus on two players. Kounde comes with 60. Then we're going 150 is gone already. I don't think we'll be doing much in the market. But something else I want to show us here before I go to LSC to talk about him is this. Let me show you guys this. This is, again, it's Wikipedia, so there's a chance it's all nonsense. If you can see the screen, here it says current team Tottenham Hotspur. So again, let me share the screen. I'm not sharing the screen here. Can you guys see it here? So let me maybe zoom out a bit. Again, it was what's that name? Deal. Yeah, so there's a chance it's already a done deal, because I don't think somebody will make this change if that isn't the case already. But that's, by the way. Let's see. Let me know what you think about Bastoni. Because as long as it's official, there's a chance we'll still sign him. But this may well mean that an insider who's, well, because we heard before that Tottenham, that they are heavily linked to him. I think Conte likes him as a player. So there's a chance he's already joined them. It just has not been announced. So, LSG, your thought on Bastoni, whether you'd like him in a team, what you think about his abilities. Again, let me know.
Yeah. I think in terms of like-for-like replacements, it would have fit that Rudiger role because, he's used to that three at the back and he's left-footed, and he's young as well. For those people pulling up for Liverpool, they may be disappointed if we go for him. But with this Wikipedia page, I don't even think it makes sense to keep talking about him because it's just going to be.
But then again, that thing is on Wikipedia, and again, I want to say kudos to Just Viola for finding that, because it's not easy to, if you go through the page. I had to do a search. Of Tottenham, the word Tottenham, the name Tottenham, to find it. That it says the current team is Tottenham.
Yeah, as any of the so-called transfer gurus have they mentioned this?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not official yet, so there's still a chance we'll get him.
There should be a rumor for it to just go straight to Wikipedia. You understand what I'm saying? There should be some.
No, but
agreement.
anyone can change that.
Anyone can edit it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyone can edit it if you have the privilege to edit it. So it is what it is. In terms of seeing him at our team, yeah, I won't mind, but I would still go for Koulibaly in that position. I would still prefer Koulibaly, man, because you just take a look now. We're losing experience, so we need experience. All right. So let's not get this twisted, right? Rudiger, we're only talking about Rudiger now. Remember, about 2 years ago, many fans wanted him out. So he's only been at this top level for about 18 months since Tuchel has been here. So you don't even know how he's going to survive at Real Madrid, because I think even himself, he said it in one interview that is better. That was before Tuchel ever came to Chelsea. That is better at a 3 at the back, and he plays the left side. That's his role. That's his position. Okay. So Tuchel coming in just was like a dream come true for him. He found his desired position. So we don't know if he's going to be the same Rudiger as Real Madrid. Okay. So if we're getting a replacement for him, I believe we'll be safer going for experience in the person of Koulibaly. I think this guy is he here? He's gone.
I think Coachella has just left the stream. He might be back in a moment.
Oh yeah. Okay. Hey, if Bastoni came for left and Koulibally in the middle, that I can see that working more. Kounde. I know we got Silva, but we can't. I don't think Silva can do the same thing he did this season.
Why are you saying that?
Games. Why I think that?
Yeah, why?
Because he played more than he was the medical team was advised to. So for his age and for his, because you know how the medical team tests your lactic acid and they recommend players should rest and whatnot. So it's not up to Tuchel to say who rests. They have a medical team that actually tests your lactic acid in your muscles and you see if you're fatigued or not, and they're the ones that advise Tuchel he can only play for 30 minutes, he can only play for 60, and they have a specialist team, and this goes for every team. Tuchel was in positions where Silva should have rested, and he pushed it, and that's why you saw towards the end Silva was just run down. He's not only older, and we've pushed him, he can't do the same again, and there's a good chance that you can get a serious injury, and then what do you do?
It's true. I can make a case for
Silva was never meant to play all the games too.
That's true. I can make a case for Tuchel. Like, we don't have the depth enough to be able to cover for him. That's why.
Well, Christensen was the cover, and when Christensen was meant to play, he kept bailing out of games. Little injuries, I'm sick, this and that. Mm-hmm. The FA Cup final, Christensen was meant to start, and the last day he changed, and Silva wasn't meant to play that game.
Whoa!
So, that was a report that came out. So Christensen was the backup to Silva, and Christensen had some good games there in the middle. But Christensen started with the whole contract thing. Looked like maybe he didn't want to play for any little injury or there's been talks of maybe mental issues, but because Christensen wasn't available, we had to play Silva a lot more, and there was a few games where we tried someone else in there, and it was a disaster. So you can see the importance of having someone to play where Silva plays, and not rely on him to play every game.
And declared, I think I agree with you when you said Koulibally could play the Silva role. I think I saw a few videos where Koulibally was showing that he can play make from that area. he's excellent on the ball, very excellent, and he has that sort of intelligence. Even though he's much more aggressive than Silva, I think he has that intelligence and that calmness to be able to play those sort of balls. So yes, if
you see it more under when Sarri was still at Napoli, where every ball was played through him from the back, and then from him and Jorginho had a great link.
You guys can go ahead with the conversation. Let me try and sort out the problem I have here.
That's all right.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Did you cut it?
Yeah, sorry. So, as I was saying, I think Koulibally could be the perfect backup or replace. He's not necessarily a backup because he's that good a player. So he could even compete with Silva, right? So playing him at the Silva role wouldn't hurt the team that much. My opinion on Bastoni, I think Bastoni is also a very good player. I think it would be unfair to just rate a player based on the price tag. I always like to rate a player based on what you can offer to the club, his quality. You understand? So
yeah.
I think it would be disingenuous when we say that, okay, for Kounde, he might succeed playing for us, but for Bastoni, he might not succeed playing for us. Why? What's the difference between the two of them? You understand? If the player is
I think. Oh, so I'll give you my understanding, and the rest of the panel can jump in too.
Okay.
In this window, when we have let's say we'll go off the reports, and let's say we have 200 million, yeah, and we want to bring in 2 defenders, maybe more, maybe a wing back, maybe a midfielder, maybe some attackers, maybe a backup keeper, yeah. When you have a window that potentially we want to bring so many new players, and possibly fill some positions with some youth or people on the loan, because we need so many areas. Well, which positions do you throw the money in, and who can you get the best worth out? Like for Kounde, for example, we said, and even I think you said it, he can play anywhere in the back three, he can play wing back, midfielder.
Yeah.
That means you're getting a player that can play multiple positions, and he can cover multiple positions. So that he's probably worth maybe 1 or 2 players worth, because he can do so many roles. Now, think of where else you're going to throw the money in the team, and which positions should have the higher transfer fees. So if we spend a lot on Bastoni, then there's not going to be so much for some other positions, and they could prevent you from getting other players. That's probably going to be the big argument in this whole summer on which player wants what, and people put off on the price. If we can get him cheaper, and usually it is the case. Usually when they say 70 mil, and then when the transfer happens, he turns out we got him for 40, 50. That happens a lot of the time. You know, everyone didn't want Chilwell because it came out that he was going to be 80 mil or 70 mil, and it turned out we got him for 50 mil, and now he's a great player in our team, or one of the best if he didn't get injured. So you can see how people view it. But I was saying if the example was right with the transfer fee. If it's not, if we can get Bastoni on a cheap, because the thing I feel with Bastoni, there might be a lot of interest that's going to raise his price, and I rate Kounde better than Bastoni, for example, for what we need. But if we can get Bastoni cheaper, then I think it's really good business then, because he could potentially become a really good player. And plus. And you know what? I think I forgot. He is actually pretty good on the ball too, and makes some plays. And I think we didn't have a left-footed player playing there besides Sarr. I think maybe that's an advantage too. Like if Rudiger was left-footed, he actually would have been more comfortable in that position and probably do a lot more.
Yeah. I think that the only I think you see the issue I had with this price tag something is like people often judge the quality of a player with the price tag, but with what you explained, I think that makes sense. If you have so many other positions to fill, you don't want to invest all your money on one player. That wouldn't work. You understand? So for that one, I agree. And when we are talking about Bastoni, I think what you said about him being ball playing, I think when he goes forward, he's very, very good. The issue with Bastoni is his defensive aspects. I don't know how good he is defensively, right? But of course, no player is perfect. And the good thing is Bastoni has age on his side. He's, I think, 23 or 24, right? So he has a lot of learning to do. Okay, so for me, I think that if he purchases Bastoni, it would be a good thing if he purchases Bastoni. But if it is true that Tottenham has purchased Bastoni, then we are in deep trouble. But anyways, we still have options. So for that one,
maybe it's just worth it just to steal him from Tottenham, because to be honest, whatever people say, I'm actually a little bit worried about Tottenham because they're only like with the new additions they already got, they're only like about 3 players to become a very, very solid team under Conte, and if they continue the form they had when they finished, they're going to be a bit of a force for that top 4. So,
it's true. I want to address. Wait, please a second. I want to address this comment where it says that Bastoni will not be able to cope in the EPL and he isn't good enough. Chelsea shouldn't risk it. Let's rather go for Pau Torres. I have a question for him. Has Pau Torres also played in the Premier League before? Pau Torres, has he played in the Premier League before? So how are you sure or how are you certain if Pau Torres would work out, but Bastoni won't work out? So I think this sort of argument it's quite weak, right? A lot of players have come into the Premier League. We felt they don't have Premier League experience. But once they came, they killed it. We have so many examples. Luis Diaz is number 1. Bruno Fernandes is number 1. They didn't even have a what do you call it? A summer, right? A preseason. And they are killing it. So that argument as to whether Bastoni will not be able to cope with the Premier League because he plays in the Italian Serie A, it doesn't make sense. It's like you're shifting goalposts here. For Pau Torres, because you like him, he's fit for the Premier League. But for Bastoni, he's not fit for the Premier League. For me, I don't do that. I choose to look at players in terms of the systems they play. If the system that they play in is right for them, no matter the league they play, they are going to excel. We know countless numbers of players who are in the Premier League. They just switch from one club in the Premier League to another club in the Premier League, and they do not excel. We have so many examples, which we can talk about another day. But to say
let me know if you guys can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. And again, let me know when you're done. I wanted to say something about the case of Bastoni. I've checked Inter Milan's recent games. It turns out he's injured, so that makes it an even riskier move. I'm not sure what type of injury he's suffering. Again, but go ahead when you round off.
Yeah, so this points about the fact that a certain player is not good enough in the Premier League because he's not proven in the Premier League. But for players that you like and they've not even proven themselves in the Premier League, you say for them we should go for them. It doesn't make sense to me. It's quite how should I say it?
Double standard.
Yes, some sort of double standard. We are just shifting goalposts depending on the players we like. It doesn't. We don't do that. You understand? Because we know a number of players who have been in the Premier League. They just switch clubs, and all of a sudden they don't do well. We know a number of players who are in the Premier League. Once there is a change in manager, they don't do well. We know a lot of them. So that thing doesn't cut out for me. Then you would have said that Thiago Silva will never be a success in the Premier League. Of course, when he came and he played the Premier League for the first time, he struggled. By the end, he's killing it in the Premier League. So the fact that you are saying that Bastoni, you've not even watched Bastoni before, but you are saying that he's not good enough. I'm sure he's not watched Bastoni before, but you're saying he's not good enough. How can you tell?
Again, there's a chance that's the truth. He may have watched him. Again, I have to go far back into this app to see this game that he's played here. and I think of all his teammates, he has the lowest rating here. He's in the left center back position. He has 6.6. I think the only advantage you could argue is that he naturally played in the left center back position, which means he can fit in. He will be, a perfect replacement for Antonio Rudiger in terms of the position itself. And again, but what makes it even a risky move is the fact that he's currently injured. I don't know what type of injury he's suffering from. But I think there's a chance it's not good enough for Chelsea. You can't tell until we sign him and he plays for us. So if that's going to be an issue, I think we might as well look elsewhere. So Nick, can you come in? Let me know about what you think about the Bastoni links. Do you think, let's go into the argument, do you think it'd be good enough for Chelsea or not?
Yeah, before your brother starts out, I was going to say, he's not for Chelsea. He's, I've seen a little bit of him. He's young. He can improve, but I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think Chelsea will even go for him. I think the main target is Kounde. We know he's going to come, and Koulibally. We have to get them to before the first signings first, and Perisic. Tottenham haven't got him yet. Ain't done yet. So we still have a shout for Perisic. But, I can't see Bastoni to cover for Ben Chilwell on the left. I can't see him. I don't think he's that good. And your stats there proves it. He's not that good enough. Italian defender, the whole Italian team is overhyped. And you see what happened to them. They won the European Championship at that time. After that, they just fell. They couldn't even get to the World Cup. A lot of Italian players are overhyped too much. This guy's another one. He won't succeed. Be a big mistake to pay that silly money for Bastoni. And I don't think we're going to do that anyway.
Yeah, 66 point something $1 million is quite a lot of money. Plus, he's
you can
injured.
go for that sort of money. You can get someone much better. I'm sure.
Yeah. Again, that brings to mind Cucurella, who we've heard can also execute that role very well. So
I prefer Cucurella any day. Bring me Cucurella.
So I'm going to try and catch up with the chat. And again, first of all, I want to say thank you for 77 likes. We have 122 people watching, so which means we can do better than 77 likes. In that light, I say, please, if you haven't, be sure to like the video and also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That will help us, grow and get to 3,000 as soon as possible. Again, thank you for 2,000 subscribers, and we've achieved almost 50 plus subscribers today, but we can do better than that. The more the likes we get, the more people we can reach, and the more fun it will be if you have more people here. But also subscribe and be sure to click on the bell notification button. I think with big up coach and panel sells my brother Matt Zivoli YouTube channel. Be sure to go check out Zivoli YouTube channel. Great content, great individual. We started off as fellow content creators, but now we'll become friends. So I urge you to go check out his content, not because we're friends, but because he knows what he's doing. And his channel is actually one of the fastest growing channels right now. Bastoni isn't the right profile for us. Besides, Colwell is contracted with us and has more potential. I think we'll talk about that. Again, maybe for another window, we need the likes of Koulibally now. We'll soon talk about how, again, it's important that we talk about the defensive signings, but which of them should we prioritize? Because who we bring in, will also account to how we're able to fix the issue and fix it properly, and not just bring in players because we need a defensive reinforcement and then create more problem than solutions. Here it says Wiki isn't. Yep, we know that already. But then again, that's a chance. To some measure, it is the truth. Which player has Chelsea said not yet until the sale process is completed, which you can argue maybe there are some details to still take care of before it will be official. I would like Koulibally over Neymar because he will stabilize our defensive line. Just look at last season after TT took over, we had the second best point accumulation during that time. I think this is a very, very great point also, but I don't think the club will be looking at Neymar due to a lot of issues. One is that he's on a very high wage. I don't think the club will risk that. Plus something the club did talk about the other day when we talked about the situation, I think the Premier League will be difficult for him to cope with. And again, he's going to dive in just to get things to go his way. So that's something the club will consider before even thinking about it. Chelsea can be good. Chiesa, I think he's currently injured also, so that makes it a huge risk. And I don't think the club will be prioritizing the attacking area. Maybe if that's the case, I don't know. Let's just forget about Christensen. He doesn't have the needed mentality to play for Chelsea Football Club. Some people will argue otherwise, given its performance in the Champions League final. My ideal Chelsea team for next season: Mendy, James, Koulibally, De Ligt, Gavido, Chilwell, Kovacic, Kante, Bissouma, Mount, Nkunku, Lukaku, again, Havertz. That's a good list to pick from. And again, but you never know. Antonio Rodgers, again, if this is your first time here, please do like the video. It takes just a second and it doesn't cost anything. Again, we've been brilliant in terms of the likes today. You guys are absolute legend. We need just 12 likes to get to 100 likes. And again, we're shooting for 3,000 subscribers as soon as possible, and we will get there. The next comment I want to read, let me try and catch up. It says, Bastoni is a good player, but Kounde and Koulibally will be a better option. Again, yes, I think you make a good sense. It's important that we carefully consider who we're going for, not just sign defenders because we need defensive reinforcement and end up creating more problems for ourselves than we have. And again, remember I said today we would do a $50 giveaway just to thank people for 2,000 plus subscribers and how well the channel have done. I couldn't have been able to do it myself. We're here today because of your support. And again, thank you. But we will get do a $50 giveaway to get which is my way of saying thank you for your support. Chelsea should sign Kounde because his heart is already at the club. I think now he wants to play for Chelsea, and that means a lot. Which reminds me of something LSD talked about already. We should go for players who want to play for the club, just as Kounde, who did what he did to push for the move, but eventually it did not come to fruition. But this time, I think it's looking more likely it will happen as soon as possible. Again, I've read that Mendy and Koulibally chemistry will be interesting to each other. They both speak French. Communication is key to getting the best out of the goalkeeper and the defenders. I think you make a great sense, David. Says Matthijs Bastoni is very good. Thank you for that. Imagine if Conte convinced Hakimi to join Tottenham. Yeah, they will do some damage to opposition. Bastoni has calf injury, and I'm not sure how soon does that take to heal. I don't know. Again, it's a risk no matter the type of injury he has. Bastoni made the Italian national team squad for the final versus Argentina, winners of the Euros versus winners of the Copa America. Okay, I see. Is he really injured? He is. Yep, I've checked the Inter Milan's most recent games. He's on the bench. You can go check it out yourself. Get Koulibally and Brenner. Again, it depends on what the coach wants. Let me see here. I heard Chelsea wants around. I can't even pronounce the name right. Rangnick admits Leipzig, a 52-star man, Timo Werner, would suit a switch to Liverpool. If they will give us the money, if Tuchel wants to let him go, again, I wouldn't say no to that because he hasn't really worked for him at Chelsea, but he's done quite well anyway, and that's why the fan base loves him. Don't know why we did on the target. We just got 30 million from Madrid in bonuses. But Kronos, tell me how many players we can sign with how much we have. And remember, the 200 million we learn will be after sale of players and whatever income the club makes from elsewhere. So again, so it still makes sense to data. We'll take a Bassi from Rangers. And again, Liverpool has a long-standing interest on Timo Werner. They need a striker because, Mane will be leaving. Maybe that will work. Colonel's down at 30. Again, a good question there. Explain to us. We want to know. CFC Blues, DJ, nice to see you back. If Tuchel persists with 3 at the back, then we need at least a 4 centre backs. Thiago is 38. Again, that's a good argument. I think we should go for Koulibally. I'm not sure how serious Chelsea links to Koulibally is at this point, but he will be a good addition to his team. And I agree. My argument has always been, if he leads the back line, the way we play would change because it's not like for like in terms of the way Thiago Silva executes his leadership at the back, than the way he executes his command the ball. He's cool-headed, but we'll see if we bring him in, if he will be a good addition indeed. Again, it says Neymar saying he wants to stay at PSG now. Tell me about it. And again, I would never. We talked about it in this show, and that's why I love the Blue Morning Show. We don't really trust what's out there until we look into it, and we came to the conclusions. He's not coming. The conclusion that he's not coming to Chelsea Football Club. We can't afford to let go on a free, or rather cash out on them if they are not ready to sign again. That's the truth. You can't force players to stay when they want to leave. If you force them to stay, they'd run down their contracts and leave on a free. Again, let me make this clear. I'm looking for 200 people. Once we have 200 people, we would do the giveaway. But at a certain point, even if we don't have up to 200 people, we'll still do the giveaway to say thank you to you guys for your support. You guys are absolute legends. And right now we have 87 likes, just 13 more to hit 100 likes. We need to get there. And if you haven't, please do subscribe, like the video too. I appreciate all the support. I've read that one too. Zabi says Koulibally defense and Mendy in goal. 2 players in defense so bad with ball on the feet. I'm not sure that argument. Can you elaborate? Again, I'm just going to skip everything. Victor Brown, nice to see you. We need Ndidi. Here's our Nigerian brother promoting for the club to go for his for a fellow brother. Again, now Njiji is out injured, and that's also a risk no matter how you see it. Bastoni would be great also. Cannot go wrong with Italian defenders. Italians do produce great defenders, but there's no guarantee Bastoni, a player, will be the same because they produce great defenders. So we must be careful. Hakimi to Spurs, wait for a month. It will happen. If that happens, then I'll be scared of Spurs. But they may need Lukaku to complete what I'm really scared of. 20 million Hazard Champions League bonus, 10 million La Liga bonus. That's some money for us. Again, it makes sense now. I don't know how we got that deal, but it's one of a kind. When is the takeover going to be announced officially? It was said to be today, but still nothing. And again, that's why we're cautious here on Chelsea Perspective, especially the Blue Morning Show. If you go and read the statement that the club sent out again, there are still things. Again, this is a 4-point-something billion deal. The slightest misuse of language could cause a lot of issues. Again, I still believe it will take a bit of time to complete, but maybe we'll get an announcement today. If that happens, we will celebrate it. Adiyat Ratsin says, hey, bro, what about Dembele? I think Dembele, from what we're hearing, his signing is edging even more closer. But then again, nothing will be completed until a new license is issued for the club to operate and the sale process is complete. But from what we're hearing, it's looking more like Dembele will be the first signing that the club will complete this coming transfer window. We like a short place. Again, I don't know. And Didi is weak on the ball. You could argue that too. He's not the best on the ball, but what he does is win the ball for you. We must say that. Koulibaly's age is it's not a problem for me too. We need young and experienced players. We need balance, to have a good team. I really wish we can contact Mane's agent and see if there could be a way getting him. You never know. You don't know if we're talking to him already. I don't, and you could argue he's Tuchel's kind of player. Given, he's not an out-and-out striker. He's a hybrid striker. I think he will work in our team. I don't think Kounde has done enough to warrant his price tag. Again, that's your argument. I think government lets us run as a proper club. June 1st. I can't wait anymore for that to happen. If Kounde and Hakimi go to Spurs, I want Marina to hide. Again, it would not be Marina's problem. If players change their mind or decide to join other clubs, I don't think it would be right to blame Marina. Thoughts on Maddison or Tillman? Tillman's, I would say, isn't good enough for Chelsea. I'd argue that tomorrow. Maddison maybe. I think he would be a good addition to our club if we look at him. I feel like we need a Frank Lampard kind of midfielder. I think we've gone beyond that era. Again, I don't want to say what I feel about Frank Lampard as a player. He's a Chelsea legend, and nobody can take away that from us. Tobago, the king of the house, says 5 more likes to 100. Please, we can do that. Like the video and sub to the channel if you haven't. A player like Dembele, again, I think I'm all caught up here. Says Bastoni is good with the ball. He also has great crossing ability, and he's also tall for dudes. That's another argument. Again, anybody has anything else to say about Bastoni before we move to the next player?
Nope. But I had a question.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know that 200 mil? How did they come up with that number if it was after sales? Not knowing who we're going to sell and how much we're going to sell them for.
No, let me try and answer that question. There's a chance the club's saying, again, there's a chance also, first of all, let's recognize there's a chance the 200 million budget, it's nonsense. There's a chance that's absolute nonsense. Again, there's a chance the plan is after sales. No matter how they sell, no matter how much money they make from sale, the budget limit is 200 million. That's how I see it.
So even if we sell a lot, they will not put more in.
That's a chance. That's a plan, but we don't know. All we can do is speculate.
Because it's easier to say we have 100 mil without sales, and so we could get up to 200 mil. Maybe they didn't want to say that, but it can also be implied that, let's say it is 100 mil, but we sell 150. That doesn't mean we have 250 sale. That means they want that 200 would be the cap.
A cap exactly. Cap exactly is my point. Maybe there's a cap on how much they want to spend.
I mean, you can't. It's not a window to have that, to be putting on caps and to have that mindset. We need to replace so many players. You'd rather invest in this window, so you don't have to do it in the January window or the window after. Because so many players are going out. This is a crucial window. So for them to have, they don't even know who's going yet. Do you mean?
Yeah, and you don't even know if
Lukaku's got a new agent. Alonso could be going out. Jorginho Kante needs a new contract. What happens if they don't want to sign? Then they might have to go and replace. So I think that number, you can't get that. I think it's ridiculous. And if you remember,
weren't you were you not part of the show where we tried to answer the question how many players, good players, can 200 million buy for Thomas Tuchel? Were you not part of the show?
Missed that one.
Yeah, because we looked at it when we're like, what the heck is this? 200 million for how many good players? Even let's assume they say they want to sell Declan Rice to us for 70 million. How much do we have left? But maybe the case is like we said. Remember, we agree there's a chance it's absolute nonsense, and just like True Blue is saying, the 200 million is media driven. Because if you check, there's also inflation. I don't know if it is different in England, in the UK, but in the United States, inflation is really high right now, and everything is very expensive. Everything is almost nearly twice as much as the price they were before anything. So again, I think that answers the question. Anybody on the panel want to add anything to what Declan just raised? Or if you had something else you want to say, you go ahead. Come in before we move to the next player.
Yeah, let me just say. Yeah, it's like a True Blue said, it's all media speculation. No one knows. First of all, we don't know how many players are going to go out, what we're going to get for them. We're going to know when we can buy players. Let's hope soon. This announcement will be done, and we're going to find out. But it could be a lot more than 200 million. The way Boehly is talking, he's going to back, Tuchel in every way, whoever he wants, he said. So, it's all speculation. It could be a lot more than that, I think, if we're going to buy top players. And depends on the players will go, how many we're going to get rid of as well. That's common sense.
Yeah, it's common sense, but I think you were part of the show where we tried to answer the question whether 200 million would be good enough, and how many players that would be able to buy.
And we bought 3 players, 3 good players.
Yeah, exactly, and the money finished. So again, that's why I love the Blue Money Show. We like to keep it objective here, and discuss things and come to sensible conclusions. LSC, anything you want to add to this particular discussion? Again, I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, I called it from the beginning, right? Talking about A-list players, and then you're talking about that figure. Just the question that declared asked, one of the stream, I raised the same issue as well. How did they manage to come up with that number, with that figure? So we started selling out our best academy players. We started selling Scotia. We started selling Gallagher, and all these boys. So, it's crazy, it's left to be seen, because even the takeover, that's my main priority now, because tomorrow is 31st. So if the takeover doesn't happen today, and it doesn't happen tomorrow, the whole thing might, there might be some complication. Maybe they might need to apply for a new license. So most players that want to come here, they are still looking at this situation. They are looking at it. Anytime they hear positive news, it gives them insight, it gives them interest to say, okay, things are getting better. Not some of the times you hear negative news, you are not sure what's going to happen, like the way they try to sensationalize the entire issue. So let's complete the takeover before we know what this guy can actually do. All right, because if he's starting at this level, it's not going to be fair on Tuchel, and it's a very, very massive letdown. It's a massive step down as well from what Roman has done. Whether you like it or not, whether you like the recruitment strategy or not, we brought in Havertz, we brought in Werner, we brought in Ziyech, and we won the Champions League. We won the Super Cup and the Club World Cup. All right, we went to about 6 finals, right? 6 finals, and we won 3 of those finals. Okay, we're just penalties away from 2 of them. And we got to our top 3. So we have to keep perspective. Look at it in a different way. So I would say the major issue here is clearing out the so-called deadwood, the wage structure. I don't understand how Lukaku managed to triple his wages at Chelsea, right? He's coming here, all right? He's triple his wages here. And what's his name? Malang Sarr, because they have the same agents. I think Malang Sarr was used as part of the deal, okay, to get Lukaku. That's the only reason why it will be on 120K a week. I don't see the reason why a player like that should be on 120K a week when Chalobah is not even on that amount of money. Chalobah is on less than 20K a week. So that's a major problem. So this window should be used to clear out those wages, clear out the players, even the top players at the moment, clear them out. So we have enough funds to bring in the players that actually want the high wages, the players that can give us the numbers, the players that can deliver on the pitch, the so-called A-list players that Todd Boehly is talking about. So this is a very critical window for us. And if we miss this opportunity to get the best players that can help us, I guarantee you Tottenham will take over. We're not even talking about Liverpool now. We know they've been unable to beat us this past season. So we just need to have fit players and compete and be on their level. All right. But the ones coming from behind us, people are thinking about Tottenham just one top four next season. Hell no, that's not Antonio Conte's mentality. That's not his mentality. He's looking at their trophy cabinets and he's thinking, you know what, I want to make history here. So I won't put it past him to fight for the title next season. And here we are here talking about 200 million for transfer. It's a joke. It's a joke, man. So Declare, what do you think? You think that 200 million is something that we should rely on and we should, pay attention to whatever the media is saying at this moment?
No, it's like when you try to figure out how they even got to that number, there's too many unknown factors to even say you have 200 or you have 100, or it doesn't even make sense. But with Lukaku, I don't think he tripled his wages. I mean, he just doubled it, if I remember right.
Yeah, it's
Because I
almost,
remember
let's look.
he did take a wage cut to go to Inter. He was getting more at Man United. He took a wage cut to leave Inter. So he has that in him. And then he asked for a pay raise.
You're serious that he took a wage cut to leave Inter?
Yeah, he was getting more at Man United. And he was keen to get out. And so that's why he was quick to ask for a pay rise. So I think the way Lukaku approached it, that he was going to go to Inter, reignite his career. That's why he got fit. He started playing some of his best football. And Conte got him in great shape as well. And as soon as that, he started doing well, he went and asked for more money. And Inter weren't in the great position to give him more money, or maybe there was always an agreement for more money. I'm not sure. That could have been always something they talked about beforehand, and maybe he took the low wages. But as soon as they didn't give money, he started looking for another club, and that's why he even talked about he thought all these other big clubs were going to come in for him, and Chelsea came, and I mean, he didn't triple, but he got double.
Yeah, he doubled his wages. But let me just catch up with the chat. I think we should I think we're done with the Bastoni argument. I think we should move to the next player in the beat. And again, my apologies for how bad my internet has been. You spend all that money, still you can't get a stable internet. But that's by the way. But before I move forward, I want to say, if you haven't, please, again, thank you. I think we're almost at 60 subscribers today alone. We're getting there. If you haven't, please do take a minute to like the video to help us reach more people. The more you like the video, the more people we can reach. And the more people we have here, the more fun. And please, if you haven't, do subscribe to the channel. What else do we have here that I want to read? I think I'm going to miss a few because of how I went out. I'm going to try. I think if J5 leaves, get Bissouma and Sangare. Bissouma is an option I want to see. I know Declan thinks otherwise because he's not the defined DM, but I think he can fulfill that role very well. Sam Tuguanya says Bastoni is good with the ball. He also has great crossing. Okay, I've read that before. Spurs just need 2 more. I think I've read that before also. And this also, okay, I haven't read that, but cool. Cool to you too. What's your name? Official Dance 46 crew. Nice to see you here. Nkunku Kounde Gallagher, Reina Lodi would be a good addition. I think Gallagher returns, but it remains to be seen what happens after the preseason. And I want to quickly let people know once 20 minutes, 16 minutes from now, we will do the thank you giveaway. That's a way to appreciate how you support us, this channel, the growth and everything. The 200 million is media driven. Yes, that's true. And thank you for saying that. Let's hear from Boehly himself after the takeover is complete. Yep, and not pay attention to what the media is saying. But again, since it's out there, we're obliged to talk about it, to educate our followers and the fans exactly what may be the case, if that's really the case, and let them know that there's a chance that may well not be the case. I see we're linked to Martinez. Will you guys take him? Let me just come back to this question in a bit. It says, personally, I feel the 200 million isn't a good one to start with. We have like 9 players living already. Only 100 million is gone for a quality player. Again, we try to answer that question here. Before buying, we need to move players out at the moment. Yeah, especially in the attacking areas. Before buying, we need to sell some players to make room, because we can't just keep buying and stacking them up and then have them all on the which add them to the wage bill. That would cause a lot of problems. We really need a proper midfielder, notwithstanding that we have Kova, Kante, and Joe and Connor coming back. But I think we cannot rely on these midfielders. And again, we'll talk about that when we get to the midfielder area, because we're rebuilding the team. Now, coming back to the panel, the next player we want to talk about here is let's talk about De Ligt. Let me start with you, LSC. What do you think about De Ligt? Do you think he will fit into our team? And if yes, what position do you think best suits him, given the way we play?
I would say the same position that, he's not going to play it well. You can interchange with Shaloba with that maybe a Silva role or even Kounde's role, But I think he's been protected in that Juventus team by Chiellini and Bonucci, with the experience, because that guy can be a little bit erratic, Can be erratic. So it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one for me, to choose De Ligt, because I don't think has he ever been on our radar as a club?
Before he went to Juve.
Before he went to Juve, he was on our radar.
Yeah, I think so.
Because
yeah.
This is the thing, when players that have been on our radar before now, I don't. If we get them, I don't trust it. I don't trust whether Tuchel has anything to do with it. You get my point, all right? If we already have players that we wanted to sign before Tuchel ever came to this club, then I will know that it's the same Bruce Bock and Marina and the board that are still doing their madness. All right. So it's not just a question of linking up, being linked with a player that that has a big name. All right, and then it's not going to fit us, perfectly. But I don't doubt his abilities. But I think he's been protected by 2 very experienced players in Bonucci and Chiellini.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Again, to a certain measure, he's young, but I'll get the opinion of others. Again, I want to tell the people in the chat, in 12 minutes, we will do a giveaway, and I do put out a tweet on Twitter asking people to come join us to participate in the giveaway. Wherever you're watching from, whether on Twitter or on Facebook, you have to be here to be part of the giveaway. And again, if you're here, please go share the tweet so that more people can join us. I think let me just share the link to the tweet so you can share it to get more people to join us for the giveaway. The more people we have here, the more fun. And again, I'm looking to have at least 200 people, but if not, we'll still do it anyway. Again, here it says, if we lose a Ziyech and Mount, that is madness. Again, there's no chance we'll lose in Mount. At least at this point, you can say we're not going to lose him. But for Ziyech, the likelihood of losing Ziyech is very big. Why? Because Ten Hag is the new Manchester United manager, and his Ziyech had the form of his life under Ten Hag at Ajax. So that makes it likely that he may well leave. Took a pay cut to leave Inter. No, I don't think that's the case. De Ligt, was that what you said?
Yeah.
I think it meant he took a pay cut from Man United to go to Inter.
To join Inter.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
exactly. So yeah, so not took a pay cut to leave Inter to join us. And Helgi says, Abigail, guys, nice to see you here. Helgi is one of the resident panelists here, but because of his education, he is often not available to join us. So please go help me share the tweet so that more people can join us and get a chance to win $50 as thank you for 2,000 plus subscribers. Chelsea should be very careful with Antonio Conte. I'm not sure what you mean. Samsung A11, can you please let us know I want him due to his price tag and wages. If you're talking about the Ligt, can you let us know if you have an idea, or I'll check that up by myself why the next panelist is talking. I think the Ligt is not good enough. The Ligt, so to speak, again, that may well be the case. The Ligt would be great in the back three alongside Thiago Silva and Koulibally. Again, the question I want to ask, why are we even being linked to him? Why we still have Chalobah? Maybe we need multiple options there, but I think you could argue if we sign Kounde, we have multiple more players that can play in that position. The Ligt is a defensive Lukaku, to be honest, calamity at his best. I've seen him make some rash decisions again that you wouldn't see from you don't expect from a player of his potential, if you want to say that. In the back four might get exposed. Again, good argument. Again, this is the link to the tweet. Please do help me share it so we can get more people to join us. We need to sell a lot of players. Again, good luck. It's not easy. This is Blease. Nice to see you here. I don't mind losing Ziyech as long as we get Dembele in. But Mount is again. If we lose Ziyech, we're losing one of the most creative players we have in the team. The question is, who are you going to replace him with? You let me know. You go here. What I want to know. I want to know. Here's my brother, Eric Blue, saying, how you did, Coachella, my brother, I did verified. And every time I see you here, my heart, they go jiggy jiggy, because you are my brother. And I know how much you love this channel. It's just that you're very busy and, hardly finds the time to join here, but that's okay. Hey, guys, love from Trinidad and Tobago. Nice to see this brother here, Kadim Charles. Nice to see you here. We appreciate you being a part of the process, and hopefully you good luck as we do the giveaway in a few minutes, around 8 minutes time. I strongly believe Lukaku will be a better striker next season if we can build our game around him. He is a prolific and established striker. Let's not make the mistake of selling him. Again, you must listen to Thomas Tuchel before you make that. Before you say that, he said already he's not willing, to change the system or to build the team around a single individual. And I'm more for that. Why? Because when you build a team around a single individual, when that individual is marked out of a game, you're done. Again, sometimes your plan B won't even work. Again, that's me, and that's how I see it. Says the Ligt is a good leader. He captained his team at 19 years old, reaching the Champions League semi-final. Is he really that bad? Again, but how well has he done where he is right now? But you make a good argument for that. Again, let me see if there's anybody that I haven't read their comments here. Koulibally, Kounde, Dembele on a free. Chomeni, Real is off the asking price, and Real is trying to get him for $59 million. I think we have a chance, and if we get him, that will be good. Again, Dembele for Ziyech isn't bad. No, Dembele cannot do what Ziyech can do for us. That is the truth. We must establish that. I think that Ziyech is a better shooter, and he's better off whenever he plays on the right hand side as right wing, in the right wing position, and give him freedom. You see how he creates so many chances and can shoot quite well from outside the 18. Mount gives it again. I don't see that happening. I'm happy to be on another stream, brother. Good morning, Declan. Yep, just let me know whenever you need the link. I'll send it to you. Again, let me see what we have here. We should go for Robert Lewandowski. I saw we were linked with him. There's a chance we'll get him because the clubs that are rumored to be interested in his signature, they're both in fine. That is the club, let me say, Barcelona are still in the financial stress, whether you like it or not. So I don't think that they are financially buoyant enough to accommodate him in his wage demand, except if they lose Dembele, because I heard they're really trying to keep him. If they lose him, then there's a chance they'd be able to accommodate Lewandowski. I believe Kounde and Koulibally would be a great signing. That may well be the case. We haven't signed anybody. Madrid was slapped with an 80 million euro price tag, and I think they'd be willing to pay that. Who was protecting the lead at Ajax when he captained them to the title and to the Champions League summer, winning 4-1 at Madrid and at Juventus Sports, not to mention Bayern. He's a leader, captain at 19, so he may well be a good signing for us. Yeah, again, why is Kante part of the players to be sold? Again, that's a question I cannot answer right now. I think Declan on the other show, made an argument why we should sell him from a financial perspective. And to me, Declan's argument makes sense. But then again, given how well he served the club and the fact that he's an exemplary professional, and the younger players have a lot to learn from him. But that's, by the way, Declan, can you please tell us how you see De Ligt, whether you want him at that club? If yes, where do you think he fits? And again, given his record, I think he's a leader, even though he's still young. And I think he'd work with that team. I don't know where people are getting the idea that he's the defensive Lukaku. Your thoughts, Declan?
Defense? Who called him defensive Lukaku?
I think it's Hugo Herward. I think he's the guy that did that.
I actually like De Ligt. I feel like he's one of the defenders out there that I feel can transition very well to the EPL. He is erratic, but he's also physical. He gets in there. He's almost playing like he's in the EPL, and the Italian league is is probably not as rough, and he is like that. And yeah, he can make some mistakes, but I still think that physicality, that aggression, will be well suited. And I think he can play off. Doesn't have to play off the middle. He can play in that manner, off to the left or right, maybe even the right. So I think he would be a good addition. But I heard his wages are like $250. If he comes in, he'll be our highest paid defender. If those numbers are true,
and there's no chance to take a wage cut because, like you talked about yesterday, when players move, they usually seek a higher wage. But go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Unless there's a bigger reason for them to move. So, that wage. I mean, you'd be bringing De Ligt as our best defender, highest paid defender, and he'd be our best. And I mean, are we going to go all out on defenders and get the best defenders and not worry about other positions? That's my only worry. But I think if we get him, I'll still be happy because I think he will adjust well. And yeah, he's probably one of the players that I least worry about adjusting to the EPL. And I think, and for his age, he's pretty good.
22.
So, yeah. So it could be one for the future. You could pay the big money for him, and he could become the main defender in our backline. Because, I mean, we're buying defenders now, but we're probably going to lose Silva as well. And let's hope that Chalobah comes good as well. And this is our new backline.
I'm trying to find his weekly salary. If you're in the chat, please let us know how much De Ligt earns weekly. And I'm trying also to find his current transfer fee because that's a factor too. But here's the issue I have. I have about, players starting off at a very high wage and he's still young. You talked about that. So by the time we get to renew his contract, that price goes up even more. That's why I'm usually concerned starting off young players, even, no matter how good they are, starting them off with a very high wage. Right now, he's $77 million, and his contract expires when?
Let's see that.
2024.
Coach, that's usually good. If it comes to his contract and he's looking for more money, that means he has developed well. And if he's looking for more money, he'll be. I mean, if we get him, and if it's a 5-year contract, even 4 or 5 years, he'll be 26, 27 in his peak, and that means that if we give him more money, he would be the leader of our team by that age, and that's actually a good thing then. And then you would give it to him. It's more worry. It's more the risk that they don't get there. Like we gave Like we paid big money for Havertz, and if he doesn't fulfill what we believed he would, then that's the risk you take. Same with Haaland and everyone that comes in at those big money price tags.
So where exactly in the back line do you think he fits?
On the right.
The right centre back position.
Yeah, I think he can become in the middle, become that way. But I think for now, I wouldn't want to see him straight in there, if that makes sense. Because
go ahead.
Yeah, the way he's playing, and you guys brought it up, he does have good defenders around him, but they're really old. Buccini and Chiellini, and Chiellini retired. That's why I don't think these rumours can be even true that Juventus want to let him go, because they already lost a big defender.
But he has 2 years left on his contract and they haven't renewed, so that may well be a sign.
So financially they might let him go. But the point I was getting at is that he does the running for the experienced defenders. They can't run anymore. And it's almost in the same mindset of what Rudiger did for Silva. Silva can't do all the running, but Rudiger and whoever played on the right, and especially Rudiger, did a lot of the running to take care of that. So De Ligt can do the same thing for Silva as well, in the same light. But eventually, we need someone. If De Ligt becomes really well, he can be that general in the back and be the person in the middle. So you could look at it that way. But for now, I wouldn't want to see him in the middle, left or right.
Yeah, before I come to Nick Blue and then LSC, let me please catch up with the chat. And please, again, I want to say thank you for 111 likes and also 2,071 subscribers. You guys are absolute legend. Again, there's no chance I'd be able to do this, without your support. So I sincerely do appreciate it. And again, if you can, towards the end of the show, I will ask you to let us know how the show can become even better. And when Nick starts talking, I will prepare the giveaway too, because we're at that time where I promise I do the thank you, the giveaway thing. And first, I'd like to show you, here's what you type to participate. You type hashtag. Again, it was still dedicating it to Roman Abramovich. What you do is you type hashtag. Thank you, Roman. I hope I typed it correctly. Again, it's not capital, it's small. Oh, sorry, just give me a second. Thank you, Roman, not Roma. Thank you, Roman. And this is what I expect you to type. It's in the chat to participate so that the giveaway too can pick up your name and everything, and you'll be part of it. Again, he's on 200k pounds per week, according to Salary Sport. Again, I haven't used that website, and thank you for that. I think I have to start using it. Delete a price tag, 75 million, and he earns 214 per week. Again, I think the salary may well be an issue. I don't know. I declared 375 Kante, 325 Werner, 275 Jorginho, 200k, and Kepa 150k salaries.
I was just replying to that. Those numbers, my numbers are different. Where Kante's on 290, Werner's on 275, Jorginho is on really low, 110. That's a big different one, and Kepa is the same, 155. But this True Blue's point is still the same, that we are making heaps of room. If we getting rid of those players, which is a point I especially at the Kante, at the financial standpoint. We do, and Lukaku is another big one. Lukaku is the highest earner at 325. If you get rid of Lukaku, you get rid of Kante, you get rid of Werner, all of a sudden, and Kepa, all of a sudden the wage wheel has opened up for all these players we are talking about, and we don't have to worry about 200 mil. We could have, we could have a crazy window of, if we get rid of those players, of like 300 mil, and a really. Really big hole in the wage bill that we can fill up. Yeah, I do agree with you. Let me quickly catch up again. And here, declared. I think this is something you've alluded to before. I think he does a lot of work because he does the work for the older players and the defensive line, and that's where this True Blue is saying here, because it doesn't make sense. They're saying he's been protected.
Chiellini and Bonucci. He's actually the one doing the protection for them because they're older. If anybody's protecting anybody, it's the Ligt, the Juventus pension. Again, that makes sense. I think.
But the person that brought up the original point does have a factor. They dictate what to, who does what, and they're and they control the back line, and he does the running work. So I mean, they're helping each other, and we had the same thing, like I just mentioned. Silva rarely had to put in, was found in positions where he had to put in, the tackles all the time. If it did, then something was worrying. The left and right are meant to protect him on their cases. So really, so Silva had to do very little, or should be doing very. If Silva does very little, then everything's working well. So that's how it should be. And Rudiger and whoever played on the right was protecting him. That's why if we go into a back four with Silva, you might see someone getting a bit more exposed.
Yeah, I do agree with you. So, Nick, can you come in and let me know what you think about Matthijs de Ligt and how you think he fits in a system? Should we, if eventually we secure his signature, and why Nick is talking, I will set up the giveaway too, so we can do that before we move ahead. And again, thank you for 118 likes. I think we can do better than that because we had almost 150 people watching. But then again, more importantly, I want to thank you for 2,000, and 73 subscribers. And then if you haven't, do like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Nick, are you ready to talk?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Let me know what you think about de Ligt, whether you think we should go for him and how he fits in our team.
Am I actually allowed to talk? I want to know first before I talk.
Nick, go ahead, please.
Am I allowed to talk?
Yeah, you're allowed to talk. Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, legit. A great player. He's a great player, young player. But are we going to pay them sort of wages? Don't forget, we're going to get Kounde. Kounde's and Koulibally are the main targets right now. I haven't heard anything about legit, from Chelsea. But he's a great player. He can play on the left or on the right. We need someone like him. And the wages are very high. How are we going to pay them wages and keep everyone happy? The other players, it's a lot of money. We didn't give it to Rudiger, who deserved it, and we're going to give it to legit. I don't think so. So I don't think we're going to go after him. As maybe in the future we could go after him in a different transfer window, but not this summer. No way Chelsea will be going after him. That's what I think, and that's what I think about him.
Do you think he'd still be available? He has 2 years left on his contract, and he's just on 2 something per week. But we have players who actually, I think, will be leaving the club who are on a 250, 350, 310. Even Saul, I heard, is on 3 something.
Yeah.
So you think his salary, which is 2 something, I think the most would try to maybe to make it like 250 for him, or even 300 because he's so young and he's a leader.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But you know why I think he's going to be hard. I don't think Chelsea will go for him because we're more concentrated to get Koulibally, Kounde. If we go after, if we can get Tchouaméni, it's a lot. That's going to be a lot of money for them 3 players only. And if Lukaku does go and we can go in for Lewandowski, that's a lot of money. It'd be good to get him if Boehly has the money. Yeah, why not? I ain't got nothing against him. He's a good player, but I'm just thinking, are we going to be able to do that? And how many players we're going to get rid of first? It's not going to be easy to get rid of all these players. And the one we don't want to get rid of is Kante. I can't believe I heard someone say so Kante. Kante ain't going nowhere, and he's the main man at Chelsea, the best in the world. It doesn't matter if he ain't going to play much, but Kante is not for sale. So get that out of your head, Declare.
Here's the thing. I think I agree with you, Kante. I don't think the club will sell him, but I think the rumors. I think there's some measure of truth to it because it's gathering.
That's not from Chelsea. Rumors from the media that we said don't believe the media. Chelsea are not going to sell Kante. I know that for a fact.
LSC, I don't know if I've actually. Yeah.
What?
What if
has a question?
Kante
Go ahead.
What if Kante does not want to sign a new contract?
I know, but
this is his last.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Chelsea going to offer him a contract, and Kante's that sort of man. Hopefully he's going to keep go on the same money. He's not a greedy guy. I can't see him saying, "No, I want so much," because he knows.
I agree, Nick. But what if he doesn't want, like, let's say for argument's sake, yeah. Let's say he doesn't want to sign. Maybe he's looking for more money. Who knows? Maybe someone might have offered him more. No, but let's say hypothetically.
Yeah, I know.
So what happens if he doesn't sign? Is it okay to sell him? Is what I'm getting at.
I don't think Chelsea will offer a lot of money, more money than he's on now. But I think he's just that sort of person. Well, I think he'd be happy to stay at Chelsea, for the money he's on. That's what I think. What I've heard, no one wants him out of the club. That's for sure. Even Tuchel loves Kante more than anyone else.
We'll see what happens. LSE, would you mind if I take care of the giveaway before I come back to you? And have I actually asked you where you think De Ligt will fit in our team and if we should even go for him? Have I?
I think you have.
Okay. Would you mind me going?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'll take care of the giveaway, come back to the chat. And again, remember, this is a way of me saying the channel, saying thank you for 2,074 subscribers. That isn't easy. There's no chance I'd be able to do this by myself. We're here today because of your support. And in the channel these days, averages around 70 subscribers per day. And with that speed, in no distant time, we'll be hitting 3,000 subscribers. And I'm proud of the achievement. And I cannot thank you enough. So I'm going to try to go back again and do this to see maybe more people joined, 15 still. So I'm just going to do the draw, and good luck to all of you. Let's see who wins it today. I hope it doesn't pick me. Okay, congratulations to True Blue. I think we're deserved. You've always been in the chart, and again, finally you've won. You have to DM me. I need your first and last name, or maybe just the email address. Again, PayPal only from now on. If you don't have PayPal, you're not going to get your prize money, because I don't want to start going through the process of looking for money order office or Western Union office here. Where I am, I don't want to say it is very difficult to find. So True Blue, congratulations to you. Again, you have to DM me via Twitter and say, give me your email, your PayPal email, confirm that it is you, and then you will get your prize money. Again, we have to, get back to the conversation. Now, let's see, anything you want to say further regarding De Ligt before we move to the next player?
Yeah, I'll just say that, if we do decide to go for him, he's basically going to be rotating on that silver role, because, I hear some people saying he should play.
So you think he'd be able to execute the silver role?
No, that's the position he's been playing. All right, say for the last, his last 50 games. All right, he's played about 90 or 95% of those games. In the center. So that would be the role that he's more comfortable with. So in terms of these transfer speculations, let's not forget, because we're just talking about Kante's issue. Remember when we won the Champions League? What was the news? Even Fabrizio and all the other usual suspects, what were they saying? Oh, Chelsea are going to reward Kante. Chelsea are preparing a reward package for Kante. Chelsea are preparing the best package for Kante. All right? This is It's almost about a year now, right? So what's happened to that package? What's happened to it? You know? So I don't believe any of this news, any of this story. Let's see. If Kante remains here, yeah, that tells you everything you need to know. So let's not get into that conversation of, talking about him leaving and whether it's not, whoever his agent is. And no, man, let's leave that. Let's leave that for now. Tuchel loves him. In fact, recently, one of the press conferences, he emphasized the need for him, his importance for the club. But, he was only frustrated because he's only available about 40% of the games. He wanted, I think he was indirectly telling the board, listen, I need a stronger or, another midfielder like Kante, I need your support. I think that was a cry for help, so, and to, or maybe it could also be, I heard a rumor, right, that N'Golo Kante is for sale, okay? That the board are probably preparing to get rid of him. That's why he came out like that, swinging and talking about calling him our Lewandowski, our Harry Kane, and all of that. You understand my point? So maybe he was just there trying to protect him. But in any way, I don't think Tuchel wants him to leave. So if we finally see Kante leaves this season, this summer, then the manager is not involved.
Yeah. Again, let me let's just, since I'm still with you, let's talk about the rumored interest, the club's rumored interest to link with Koulibally. Again, his experience, he's good on the ball too. He's aggressive. Again, he's, you could argue, an impressive defender. But especially on the Mauricio Sarri. But Thomas Tuchel is no Mauricio Sarri. How do you see the rumors? Do you think it's something that will work? If yes, what position does he fit in? In our team.
I think that would be the center and the left, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the most comfortable position for him to play. It's just like Silva, he can read the game very well. He has his own personality. He can communicate well with Mendy, So yeah, I mean, just having his presence. There are some players that have that presence. And the presence carry away some attackers. Look at you listen to Timo Werner. What did they say? It was shocked to see the defenders in Premier League, like they were so big and strong and all of that, So it's the same. I think he won't have any problem. The only issue is his age and the pace, So the way Rudiger used to run around and all of that, I don't know if he'll be able to do that over a long period of time. Yeah, but a player like him will fit the kind of profile that I want to see. I must insist on that I want to see, not what the manager wants to see. So I don't know if there's a way for us to find out what Tuchel wants, if is the player that Tuchel actually named. I think as a fan base, we should have like a representative in their press conferences. Because some of the people there, they just ask stupid questions, the questions that don't make any sense whatsoever. The only time that we have anything close to a Chelsea representation in that press conferences is usually a lady called, is it Bugalo or Buzalo or whatever her name is? I think she's a Chelsea fan, So we have to find a way to ask real questions and look for a way to, direct the club in a positive direction. You get my point?
Yeah, crystal clear. And again, it's a brilliant point. I think he brings experience. He brings aggression. Again, it remains to be seen. Why are we looking at him? What role do we seek him for to come and help fulfill in that back line where you could say it's catastrophe for us at this point, except if we're able to bring in reinforcements and then time. And one thing that concerns me the most is the fact whether we like it or not, the defensive department of every team is the most difficult to assemble. It takes, years to put together a defensive line that have good understanding, because communication is important with the goalkeeper, with whatever position the person plays in that defensive line. I think it's the biggest, the most difficult department in a team or two, to put together. But that's, by the way, I'm going to go to Declan, and I'm going to go to Nick, who just joined us back in. Declan, let us know what you think about links to Koulibally, and what role do you think it fulfill for us if he joins?
The middle role. I've been saying Koulibally would be great if he comes in. He probably can do a job on the left because he's left-footed too, but definitely help out Silva. I think he'll be perfect for that role. Is the more experienced one. It also, how much do we pay him for his age? I'm really hoping he comes in on the cheap because of his age, and I think he can do a job. I think he can play on the left side as well if need be, but definitely help out. I think he'd do a really good job in the middle. So I would like to see Koulibally, but not for crazy amounts, and it is a temporary fix. I mean, if we're really in a rebuild, then we would soon have to find that person that can play in the middle. I mean, Silva and Koulibally are short-term fixes.
Yeah, why would they see him as a temporary fix when, for instance, if we sign him, it won't be on a free. We'll be spending at least quite a few millions to secure his signature. And I don't think, again, if we're looking for him to fulfill the leading the backline role, just as Thiago Silva, is he 30 already? How old is he? Let me quickly look at that. Around 30, but I think it's not. I think he could actually give us at least 3 more years. Let me look at. He's 30 now, so he can give us 3 more years. Given that, if he's able to fulfill the role as Thiago Silva, not play reservedly and not exert so much energy when he's playing and yet be effective, then we can get 3-4 more years out of him. Given what Thiago Silva has shown, again, we don't know, but it's left to be seen. Nick, your thoughts on the links to with Koulibally?
Yeah, look, Koulibally we need because you know what, Rudiger's gone, and we need an experienced player there in the back. We got Kounde, who's young. We got Chalobah, young, and anyone else who comes in, if legit does come in, another young player. You need that experience like we have with Thiago Silva, and he's not that old. 30 is not old. He's a great player, one of the best, in his position, and he can play in the middle, yes, but he would take Rudiger's role perfectly, I think. And when Thiago can, at least they can change. Thiago is having a rest; he can play in the middle, and it depends who we get. Another left-sided player, if we get legit, he can play there. Or I don't think we're going to get that legit though. That's what I'm worried about. But I'm sure we're going to get someone else because the defense is the main priority. Koulibally is the main target right now. They said it already. He and Kounde, and what I heard, Tchouameni was still after him.
There's still a possibility. You're right.
Yes, yeah. There's still a chance, and we need Koulibally. He's got maybe 3, maybe 4 years. He can be another Silva. How do we know? Silva's 38. Don't forget. So he's not that old. No one near old.
Yeah. Again, Nick, I have one more question for you while I'm still with you, but quickly let me catch up with what we have in the chat. Again, this is what's his name? David says, I still don't understand why De Jong, Ziyech, and Van der Beek struggled after moving on. considering how good they were? Again, that's a good question. But I think De Ligt has done quite well in there. Ziyech also, I think, a couple of issues, injuries, and how the manager playing him out of position, if you ask me. Again, that's my argument. Some people argue otherwise. Unpopular opinion, I'd prefer Kepa over Mendy. If you watch Mendy, he's bad with the ball at his feet, and we play out from the back. Again, you have every right to express your opinion. I think Mendy is a better goalkeeper. But again, my issue is just the way the manager has handled the selection doesn't help in any way. I said I never mentioned Ziyech and Pulisic potentially of HBO plus the 4 defenders. I expect Azpi and Alonso to go. Again, we can get Kounde and Koulibally for the same money as the Ligt. Again, this is my first time watching this program, and I'm very excited about it. Thank you very much, Abdul Razak Ayuba. Nice to see you here. I'm not sure if you're Ghanaian or Nigerian, but wherever you're from, feel at home, brother. You're welcome here. You're now part of the Chelsea Perspective family. And if you haven't, please be sure to like the video. Thank you for 125 likes. If you haven't liked the video and subscribed to the channel, True Blue, we gave Chalobah a pay rise. We need a new one for Reece, Mendy, and Mount. Plus, what are we doing with Jorginho and Kante? Again, good question. This is also my first time here, and I have a Chelsea supporters group who I would like to invite. Can you guys send what? I'm not sure what you're saying there. Go to sleep sounds. Let me know, and I will oblige, of course. But thank you and welcome to Chelsea Perspective. Feel at home, express yourself, and whenever time allows, I will find time to read your inputs. Thank you very much. Nice to see you here. Please subscribe to the channel. I think he's already done that. Thank you very much. Whenever you're live, thank you. We appreciate that. Again, you'd always be notified. Be sure to click on the bell notification button so you get notified whenever we go live. Kante is our Cristiano Ronaldo. Put some respect on his name. I respect him, and no taking away what he's done for us. Nick knows ball. Again, Nick, a shout for you from Pac-Man. Again, Kante, a true legend at Chelsea. No questioning that. Nobody can take away that from him. Is there anything to address here? The guy don't want more money. He drives a Fiat, for crying out loud. Again, that's hilarious. Who told you he doesn't want more money? I'd argue the reason why he's driving a Fiat is because he wants to save more money. So in other words, he wants more money. So again, that's how I'd argue it. Again, Ziyech had an injury. He had played for 7 months when he arrived. TT played him out of position. Van der Beek, Ole, and Lampard, explains it all. Again, that's a good one. Congrats, True Blue. Congratulations to you too, True Blue, for winning. I will be waiting for you to communicate so that you get your cash prize. Congratulations, True Blue. Again, I've seen that Barcelona won't be able to register new players. Will Christensen stay at Chelsea? That did not come to mind, but let me highlight it so we'll talk about it later. Again, says True Blue, I agree, but still, again, this is just a conversation between them. I think Limitless, what do you have to say today? Let me see. It says, we want this again. Does not matter. It's the coach call. Yeah, it's the coach's call. It doesn't matter who we want. Deals. I want to get them. I don't think he'd come here anyway. Bill Smith says Kante was pushed to another position after Jorginho came in, so it was hard for him. You get used to him in new positions. I think Kante has proven that there's another position on the pitch that he cannot play. On the Sorry, he played further forward, and he did quite well in this position. Koulibally is right-footed. Yes, we know that, but I think he can fulfill the left center back position. Kounde is young, but has over 200 games, so his experience. That's important too. Again, nice to see Mikhail here, even though he's very busy. He always finds time to support his brother. Expecting Kepa to fetch big money this summer. It remains to be seen if that happens. Okay, we'll see what happens. Juventus and Lazio are interested in Emerson, but we're hearing that Tuchel wants to keep him. Eric Siobunda says hello to you too. Liam just typing his thank you, Roman. 10 years after the Troy stuff. It follows it. I don't have a Twitter account. Okay, we're gonna find a way. I'm sure you're not gonna share your email here. So we'd have to find a way, to communicate so that you get your you get surprised when he said, if you want me to give it to someone else, I don't know. You know, some people prefer privacy. I don't know you. I know you don't know me personally, except for as a host here. But we'll see. However you want, you let me know if you want to share your email in the chat. Up to you. So there's something I highlighted that I wanted us to talk about. This here quickly. Nick, can you talk about this? It says Barcelona won't be able to register new players. Will Christensen stay at Chelsea? That remains. He won't stay because he hasn't extended. But go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know about that about Barcelona. So you know, if that is true, then he could well stay at Chelsea. You know, he might change his mind, and you know, he's a good player. You know, for me, I hope he does stay. He's a great backup for Silva, as we know. Let's see what happens with that. You know, we don't know. I don't know really what I can say. But if it's true, they can't. Barcelona can't do deals or whatever. Yeah, where's he going to go? He ain't going to want to go anywhere else. You know, it depends on his family with him. That's a problem. His dad does all the talking for him. You know.
Okay, well, let me ask you this.
Change, let it stay.
Yeah, let me ask you this, Nick. Why are you still answering that question? Now, I think the club will feel disrespected, whether you like it or not, what he did. Do you think, because the truth is he will be out of contract by summer. Once you think the club will say, okay, we want you to stay, and plus we're looking to sign players.
I don't know. It's a hard one. If he's willing to accept, you know, what he accepted originally, you know, why not accept it? You know, if he accepts, you know, well, he accepted 140, wasn't it? So I don't know if he does that or not, but that's the only way the club can say, all right, we give you what you accepted before, and you can stay. Why not? You know, that's the only way I can see it. Unless he still wants to go, then, you know, good ribbons to him. If he wants to go, we don't need players who don't want to be at the club. So if he wants to go, he should go. But if he wants to stay and he's changed his mind and everything, you know, and accepts the 140, why not?
That's really a good point raised there by Felix. Again, Declan, let me know what you think about this comment right here. But even if there's a chance that he doesn't go to Barcelona, would you keep him? I wouldn't. Usually, you know, because I think the club will feel disrespected and wouldn't trust him again.
Yeah, if he's going to stay, you offer him an even lower contract. You don't give him the same one.
Yeah, exactly. Because now
that was to keep him.
Yeah.
So if he takes it, he takes it. If he doesn't, see you later. But the thing with Barcelona, we heard this last year. Everyone said they couldn't register too, and they still managed to register players. So I think it's, you know, another rumor that they're going to be able to register players.
But they're going to let a few go.
Yeah, they're dealing with still a financial crisis, and they want to get big players off the book. So they still need to get Coutinho off the book.
Because he's still their player, right? He's on loan.
Yeah, even though he's been loaned, a lot of his wages still being paid by them. And
where did this guy Chad get the information from?
No, but it makes sense because we knew about this. Like Declan said, we knew about it even last year. They have a series. We knew already. Well aware that they're in a financial stress. So this makes sense to a certain point.
At a certain point it makes sense, and at a certain point it doesn't. You know, Christensen was sure he's going to Barcelona. I don't understand.
That's Christensen. Christensen is not Barcelona.
Yeah. All right. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe it's just all rumors. It could be anything.
Yeah. Declan, you were still saying something?
No, that's pretty much it. I don't know whether.
Okay. And let's see. How about you?
Yeah. You know, it's really strange, you know, because I raised the issue earlier on about them not having money to sign Lewandowski, and now they want to sign all these players.
Mm-hmm.
But that club is being protected by the Spanish government and even the European Union, and all. So they will
Mm-hmm.
find a way. I think the issue is just a question of them selling one or two players. I won't be surprised, if clubs like PSG and United and all of that, start going for some of their players. So they'll have to sell one or two players with really high transfer value,
Mm-hmm.
so they can carry on. But for Christensen, if that is the case, that it remains. I think the club will just be professional about it. But I don't know, with someone like Marina, I heard uh, what she did to Tomori. So I won't be surprised if they just keep him there just to, lower his value. But that won't be a professional move. Uh, increase, give him a new contract. Uh, playing for one more season and then selling because we're not
Mm-hmm.
going to make anything from him. You understand? So extend
Mm-hmm.
his contract and sell him. And see, that would be the best option instead of just throwing out tantrums. Now, I don't think that's how it works at this level.
Yeah, let me quickly catch up with the chat, and I'll come back while I'm still with you, LSE, with the question that we're going to round off this episode with, and tomorrow we'll talk about the midfield area. It says our fan base have to be realistic who we get on, because the rumors about Neymar, I find it laughable. Even Declare did say that again. It's laughable. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make business sense, and also it doesn't. Given the way he plays. Like the class said, if he comes to the Premier League, given the physicality of the physical nature of the Premier League, he does start cheating again just to get things go his way. Again, because he doesn't have the freedom under Tuchel. We saw it versus Sports again. I think they're talking about Ziyech. Hit the like button, people, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That's the king of the house saying that. Tobago, my brother, please, if you haven't, do like the video, because the more you like the video, the more people will join. And again, the more it will be fun, and then the more subscribers we can get. And again, if we reach 3,000 subscribers, we will do another giveaway. But in between, we'll still be doing giveaway because I have a budget for that, like I said before. But it depends on how many people we have watching the show. Here, Limit Alessa says we this matter. I think I've read that before. Probably went a little too back here. I think I've read this also. I've read almost everything here, and I've read this from my brother again. Maybe beyond. I should be beyond this guy's here. Felix. I think Felix used Emerson again and Jorginho as attraction for the lead. That may happen because Juventus, they've been coming for Emerson, and they want Jorginho too, we're hearing. Barcelona isn't cash strapped. The only way we could lose out on Koulibally is if we are slapped with a massive fee, or if he just prefers any other club. That's the truth. But I think these things, again, sometimes when you want to sign a player, if you have a national teammate, you may use them to reach them. I think that has happened before. Rudiger helped us talk to the likes of Havertz and Werner. I think that can happen to True Blue. Thanks. The info just jumped on the stream and was not aligned with the conversation. Again, yep. Thank you very much. I appreciate you saying that. Why would you want a player you cannot rely on? And Liam, let us know what player you're talking about exactly. Says I don't think he should stay because clearly he doesn't want to play for Chelsea. Who you're talking about? Also mention names. I think he should go because clearly he doesn't. Again, Kuchila, I will call Nick. He can message you my email address. Okay, that's another way to do it. Again, you improvise, to get your prize money. That makes sense. Christensen can take his stomach pains and find the club, and that's hilarious too. I really want Koulibally at Chelsea badly. I want him to, given that we need experience, we do need balance. The rule was last year, as long as they haven't exceeded the La Liga cap, they are fine. time to move on from Christensen. He made his decision and should accept the outcome. We need people who are committed to the club. That is such a delicious comment. Well said, Ains Khalifa. I love that. And by the way, your name is so good. I love it. Ains and Khalifa, those are good. Christensen. Yeah, now let's move on. I'm going to start with you, LSD. Tell me what you think. We've talked about signing these players. What does that leave the likes of Levi Colwell and Trevor Chalobah?
I think Chalobah is establishing a team now, but he will need to get a new contract. I don't think he's on a professional contract yet at Chelsea. Yeah, they need to get that one sorted. Colwell, a lot of people were hoping yesterday that he will have the chance to prove himself, but it turns out that the occasion got to him, and that led to the own goal. So a lot of people are going to be holding that against him. Let's not forget the kind of own goal that Rudiger that we're all rooting for right now. Yeah, that we're all hyping right now. Don't remember the own goal that guy used to score. All right. So a lot of players have it in them. They have that mistake in them.
Those things happen.
It happens, yeah. It happens. The occasion can get to you, and there's no way you're going to say it was deliberate. But I think there's this, things that he had to learn in his game. If we are not in the age of social media, I guarantee you, it will just develop naturally, and be eased into the team. But because of pressure, external pressure, I keep talking about, on Twitter and all of that. And other clubs are in for him. Oh, let's get rid of him. And you have some content creators say, "Oh, say the academy, just close down the academy." It's like we are, reducing our standard. Let's not forget, this is the team that we used to have Ballack. We used to have Lampard. Yeah, the same thing. We used to have Aneka. We used to have Drogba. Yeah, we used to have Kalou, Malouda. Right? Top players in every position. All of a sudden now, we are not conscious about the academy. I understand I want the boys to grow if you are good enough. All right? It shouldn't be something big hang, because the moment we start talking about player, you see these accounts. Yeah? You see them. Oh, what about this? What about this player? What about this in the academy? What about this in the academy? You see what I'm saying? That's how we are losing these players. Is that pressure that is making us to lose these players? Because they say, you know what, I have to go. I have to go prove myself elsewhere. I think for me, he needs to go on, one more loan. I think he's happy to remain with Huddersfield, but I would want him to have a loan in the Premier League. Not a club that is subject to relegation. Any club that is susceptible to relegation, we should avoid that. We saw that with Guillemot. So loan him to a mid-table club in the Premier League. Let him show us what he has to offer, and then we can integrate him in the following season, but definitely not this season. We need to seriously catch up with the two top teams. We saw our standard. We need to catch up, and we need to build real fast.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly catch up the chat, but before that, I want to say something. Again, the case of Levi Colwell, I think the fact that they didn't make it to the Premier League leaves us in a very, very, dire situation. What do I mean by that? What I mean that Levi Colwell not making it, his team not making it to the Premier League leaves us in a dire situation is this. Now, had they progressed, had they won the game, the playoff, and make it to the Premier League, it'd be easy to ask him, okay, you stay where you are, play one more year with it, and he'd be willing because he'd still be, there'd still be that, that spirit that they made it to the Premier League, and he'd still be willing to stay with the team and play with them. So it'd be easy to say, okay, you stay there, finish the season with them in the Premier League, and then you can come and join us. But now it is very difficult. They haven't made it to the Premier League. And Levi Colwell, clubs are being linked to him already because they see the talent is there. So there's a risk in asking him to go out on loan again. He will not renew his contract. And we've seen the pattern of, one of the best talents from our academy, deciding to run down their contract and leave on a free because he can't force them to put pen on the paper. So again, I was hoping they make it to the Premier League because it'd be easy, to deal with the situation, even if we're packed in that area, even if we cannot accommodate him, would say, okay, you go, play in the Premier League if one more for a season with your team, then you will take it from there. But now it's very, very difficult. Let me just catch up with the chat. I'll come to Declan to let me know what he thinks. Again, I have highlighted this comment. Maybe we'll have the time to talk about it. On point. Thank you. I pick up my people. Smash the like button. And again, yes, we have 135 people, and I can't thank you enough. So if you haven't, please do like the video to help us reach more people. Yes, we can get more people in before we round up the show. And we have 2,084 subscribers today, which means we've reached 60 plus subscribers today alone. And that I cannot thank you enough. You guys are absolute legend, and there's no chance we'd be here without your support. And again, if you're one of the mods and you find anybody promoting sales of, if you want to be famous or followers, please block the person immediately. So I'm going to try and catch up, and then I'll come back to the cloud. Let's say Levi will learn from Koulibally. That's why he will be a good signing. I would keep him. Again, the question remains whether Thomas Tuchel would want to keep him, given that he'd be focused. Let's see what happens. And not Thomas Tuchel. Mikhail says he left out Willian. I think he's probably talking about names that LSG mentioned. Let me know if I'm wrong, bro. Please, I don't like misquoting people. Again, Chalova. Again, the issue is we need to strike a balance here. Yep, balance is important. You need experience, and then you need the younger players. We have a great academy, so for me, use the top-rated players, give them time. See Rhys James, Mason Mount, Tomori, they were given a chance. They were given a chance, but those guys, you could say their case is different. They knew they had the ability, but they agreed to go out on loan, and that makes a huge difference. But these days, players, once you ask them to go on loan 2-3 times, they decide to leave, especially if the loan move don't work for them, and especially if players have started, recognize how good they are. And again, you must count the factor that clubs understand how good our academy products are. Like the example I've used before, the Chelsea Academy is like one of the best school in a community. Every time there's a graduation, you see the big companies, in the graduation looking for graduates to grab because they know they're good products. So our Chelsea Academy is like that. Clubs are looking at our academy. Dortmund, they do that. Even Liverpool have done that before. Arsenal, these clubs, they look at our academy products knowing we produce good players. But then again, we may not even have good players in our academy if it starts to seem to like prospective new academy players, that there's no path to the first team. But that's, by the way, again, I hope you understand my point. We need more experienced players than we need more young players or academy players in this team. We cannot afford to be like Arsenal, relying on academy boys. We all know how that ends. Again, we never talked about, we talked about the importance of balance. We all recognize that. Yeah, we have good young stars, just need to give them a chance. Yeah, show them that there's a path to a Colwell's deal expires in 2025. Again, that doesn't mean we shouldn't, respect the fact that he's a good talent and can actually be integrated in the team. He doesn't have to start too many games, but there are chances he could play quite a lot of games. And if it's good enough, he starts quite a lot of games, and he plays in the left-hand side. Correct me if I'm wrong. So there's a chance he may well be an option for us, and we can spend the money elsewhere. But the coach knows better than I do. Love the story that Carlo Ancelotti said Chelsea and City tougher opponents than Liverpool. And that's actually the truth, because we scored goals and Liverpool couldn't. They were not able to put the ball in the back of the net, even though they dominated the game for a while. But that's, by the way, we only give Liverpool the 2 cups they could. Again, you could argue that we were forced to play the academy players before the ban, not because we knew they would be great. That's the truth. Circumstances force us to do that. Great. We need to strike that balance between players and best academy players. Declared to you, the question is, we're looking at these players. If eventually we sign 2 of them, or even all of them, if there's a chance if that's even possible, where does that leave Chalobah and Levi Colwill?
Well, Levi Colwill, we don't know if he gets in the team, so I wouldn't count him. But Chalobah's already proved himself. Chalobah should play more. It's important that he plays more. So I do believe that he will as well. In terms of, I don't think we'll sign. Are you talking about all the ones you mentioned?
Even if we sign 3 of them, there's still a problem you could argue there may be a problem. Even let's say, for instance, if we sign Kounde, that he provide competition for Chalobah, there's a chance he starts over Chalobah.
Yeah, but he can play a lot of positions, so he can start over anyone on the back 3 that is not performing.
But you comfortable with Chalobah leading the back 3?
Chalobah's going to be an improved player. I mean, you got to forget. People can keep forgetting that he's really young. He's not going to stay the same player. Obviously, he's made some mistakes, and he's going to be an improved player. And in order to keep improving, we need him to play more. Maybe he might not be a starter, but if he starts to become a better player and can play in the, not only the right centre back, maybe he can play the left. If he starts to learn more roles, he'll get more game time. So I don't think we sign. If we sign 3 of these players that I mentioned, maybe that's all our budget. Maybe we don't have much for any other position. But it just depends how much we buy them for. But at least Kounde, I feel like is probably the most likely out of every transfer link to happen. So I can already count Kounde.
It's looking like the Dembele deal will happen before that, but that's just the rumors. But go ahead.
I hope that one doesn't happen. I know everyone's propping it up. I don't think that solves a lot. You know what? But I will. If he does come, Dembele, if he does come, I'll be excited to see if he can not get injured. Firstly, and if he can stay fit, he'll probably be a really good player. But that's a massive gamble we're playing. But there's some defenders that aren't here on this list that I feel we might go for. Was it Geneval?
Gavidiol or something.
Gavidiol. Sorry, I keep butchering that guy's name. He is versatile. I mean, he's like a tall, a big fullback, so he can almost play the wingback roles too. I mean, I think these type of players might be key because we need to fill so many positions. But like I said, if Kounde can play all in the back 3, and you get a Geneval that can play in the back 3 and also can play wing back if need be, right? And then all of a sudden you get, even Chalobah's shown he can play in the midfield at times. Like you don't want him there, but I mean, once you start to get very versatile players, then we can cover a lot of the positions we're going to be missing, and we're going to get more value for the money we need to spend, so we can put money in different areas as well. So I think that might be key. I think a player's versatility might give him the edge over another player. So it might be one of these, yeah.
Yeah, I think we'd have to. Yeah, we'd have to one of these days. Except if we signed him already or signed other players before that, we have to talk about Gavidiol. But again, you don't think Colwill? You don't think that signing these players will be cause a problem in terms of keeping him long time, because he's the future, if you ask me.
Yeah, look, I think Colwill can come in, and I think a lot of our signings might happen after some preseason games. I think that Tuchel still doesn't know. Tuchel still has a lot of players to see. A lot of the youth, a lot of the people on loan. to see which ones he can use and which ones he wants to keep, and then the club would already have players lined up to say, well, he might have to go. I mean, because there's big question marks. I think before we start buying, we have to deal with what's going on at the club. I mean, if Brozier is not coming back, right, to play, I know, you know, like when people, I know a lot of pundits, like I mean, a lot of people on the panel and on different shows, everything, they just say, well, just send him on loan and just do a buyback, or we just want to buy this. And we want to do that, and it doesn't really go like that. I mean, they think Chelsea dictate every term. Brozier is in a position now. You can't, if you tell him you want to go him on loan, he might say, "No, I'm ready." And it's either you get him to play, or you sell him. And this is the case with like Billy Gilmore. This is the case with Conor Gallagher, and this is the case with a lot of players that we think we can just loan players out when we want them to loan, and that's not the case. And so they're going to put a lot of these players are going to put Chelsea in a position, and whether we pick him to play, that's going to say, all right, Tuchel wants him to play there. We don't have to put money there, and then we can throw money in those positions. So Levi Colwill, if he impresses, I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the team, and that's another position we don't have to buy.
Yeah, I watched that game. He did quite well, except for the own goal, but I wouldn't blame him for that. But go ahead.
Yeah. It's all going to come down to pre-season. It's the same reason why, Tuchel wanted to keep Gallagher, even though he played him in the 6th row, didn't do that great. He still saw a player that that he wanted, and I think the same thing can happen before we start throwing heaps of money in different areas, because just like Chalobah came up, that's when they thought, all right, we don't need to pay, because if Chalobah wasn't around, if Chalobah didn't have a start like he did, Chelsea might have paid Kounde's release clause. Do you know what I mean? It's the fact that Chalobah showed that he can play.
Yeah, he showed promise. At that time, we could say he showed promise of doing well, because we weren't sure then.
So that could happen again. In the preseason games, so Chelsea might not be very hasty to buy many players. They might, they might set up which players they might want to go for, but I think they want to see what Tuchel can fill which position before they throw money at some others.
Okay.
So I think Kounde, so I think Kounde was the only one we signed, and we don't go for another one straight away yet.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Again, let's see if you can give me a minute. I want to catch up with the chat, and I'll come back to you. Is that okay?
All right, then.
Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that. Good morning from Germantown, United States. Amongst all defenders, I want Koulibally in the Blues defense. He's tall, huge, and strong. The quality and the defenders you have. Again, first of all, welcome to the channel, my fellow American brother. Nice to see you here, Nicholas A.Y. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Again, if you haven't, then everybody in the chat, wherever you're watching from, be sure to like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Please help us reach 3K subscribers as soon as possible. We're approaching nearly 80 subscribers today. If you haven't, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. You're welcome here. Once you're part of the show, you're part of the Chelsea Perspective family. We love each other. We respect each other. Every now and then we fight, which is natural when you have debates like this. But that's by the way. Again, thank you for that great comment. Says no, it's just a conversation between them. Says the only difference between us and Liverpool is consistency. That's the truth. Every now and then you see flashes of what performance the Chelsea team can produce, and then when we play mid-table teams or bottom-table teams, and then you see a different thing altogether. True Blue, Mount and Reese are the best young stars we have so far. No arguing that. I think they are two brilliant players. Chalobah, we get more better. I don't know why we always forget too quickly. I think we can all agree to that. He's done quite well. Jerry, they are no longer kids. That's hilarious. I love Just Gavidor, a perfect Tuchel defender. We need to get that amazing talent. I don't know how I missed adding him to the list. Pac-Man, again, this is a conversation between them. Now, let's see, have I asked you where you think this whole thing leaves Chalobah and Levi Colwell?
No.
Okay, you go ahead. Let us know what you think. And my apologies that, and you can always come in whenever you want to. I don't mean to, not call upon you.
Yeah, it's all right. You say, yeah, just like the Claire was saying, Chalobah actually had opportunity to prove himself during the preseason, and but I don't think this time around we have the luxury of waiting for Tuchel to look at what he has already. Looking at Gallagher and Broja and all these guys to come in first, in the preseason, because that suggests that we are going to take our time in the window. And we've seen already, most of our targets are being pushed by other teams. So it's not wise for us to look at what we have. Because Tuchel had the whole season. In fact, he's got 18 months, all right, to evaluate who these players are and what, except he wants to change the system entirely, all right? So since he's not changing the system, so I don't see any reason, why we have to wait to assess our current players and our loan players first to return and assess them to see who we are going to buy. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So how does that even correlate with the current transfer rumors that is going around? So I take that with a pinch of salt. But if Liverpool returns with the team, and have a preseason with us, and he was able to prove himself, because let's not forget we are losing about 4 players, about 4 defenders, right?
Maybe 5 actually, but go ahead.
You know what I mean? So, and we need to replace them. Okay, so I won't be surprised if we buy two players, 2 defenders, and then have Kobe as one of the backups. If we're going to use that team here. I won't be surprised. But my point is this, right? I'm for the academy, making it true. I'm for that, okay? But I don't want a situation where you make it through to the first team and then you are complaining that you are not in the starting 11. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to have that. I want to have that standard because the standard is being reduced every single season. So if you say you want to make it in the first team, you want to play for Chelsea, wherever, okay? If we are still at the highest level, we should be thinking of we don't have this kind of problem at City because the starting 11 and the next 11, the team B, can make top 4 in the Premier League. The team B can make top 4 or even get to any maybe Europa League position. So let's not kid ourselves. All right. So are we going to be a team that fill out our second options with the academy and the first option with superstars? Maybe that might work. But if any players that will integrate, like we saw with the situation with Chalobah when he wasn't played for quite a long time, all right? People were already mourning and crying, oh, what has it done to Tuchel? What's happening? Why is he not playing? Pressure coming in left, right, or center. You should be happy that you're already in the team. Why are you crying? Why are you trying to bring in the pressure on the manager? Leading to a lot of questions and bringing anxiety and pressure on the team. This is what I'm against. So if Cole will make it, I don't think he's in any position to be making some kind of ultimatum or dragging ultimatum with us, because I see Chelsea just like you said, it's like the best school in your community. I see Chelsea like Oxford, for example, in this country, right? Are you telling me that Oxford, hire all the graduates that come out from that school every year? Yeah, they don't have the capacity to do that. They might pick one or two, maybe 4 or 5 for first-class students. That's about it. So other companies will come in there and push. So it's because we as fans, we are emotionally tied to some of these players. That's why we have problems. So I don't have an issue if the academy is being set up to raise funds to make our first team to be on the highest level. And year in, year out, we can bring in maybe 1 or 2 into the first team. But it shouldn't be compulsory that we must merge and integrate our first team, with the academy. Come on, man. If we do that, we are just reducing our value and our standard. Because just look at the situation. If we had a player like Tino Livramento and Rhys James, we'll have a problem. This guy was not even ready to compete with Rhys James. Do you understand? Rhys James is from the academy. Okay? You know that Azpilicueta is almost on his way out. Okay? So why don't you have the patience to alternate with Rhys James? But no, I want to make it on my own. I want to do, blah, blah, blah. All right? So here we are. Okay? So it will get to a point where if we allow this attitude to continue, to say, oh, if Chelsea don't bring me in the first team, I have to go to another club. We've seen other players, do this, all right? It's only the very best so far that are making it, all right? There are other ones that didn't make it, okay? So you are not going to tell me that you are going to hang that on Chelsea or, on how our club is being run as a negative, okay? So I won't accept that from anyone. So,
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I won't accept that. And if Kowe wants to stay, let him stay. But he must not cry and mourn. Every opportunity that he gets, right, he must utilize it. I don't want to hear him coming out and say, oh, the manager is playing a different system. It doesn't suit me. So we don't need that, man.
Yeah, again, one thing, the most important point I got from your input is that we cannot keep them all. You use the Oxford example. That's the truth. And Nick, just 1 second, let me catch up with the chat and I'll bring you back in to tell me what you think about if signing some of these players, if we sign some of these players, where that leaves Levi Colwell and Trevor Chalobah. Bring a Colwell, Broja, Gallagher, Gilmore, but also sprinkle experience for balance and mentorship. Mentorship and balance, it's important. If you go with all the young players, you have an issue in terms of patience during games on how to manage games. And then mentality-wise, if you use too many old players, again, there's an issue with them coping with the pace of the game. So balance is key. And again, that's another delicious comment from my brother, who, because how busy he is, doesn't comment much, but whenever he does, I like to read it. I'm not sure what that brother there is talking about. We need experience in the team. Those kids cannot win any trophies for us. Yes, we need experience. Again, balance is key. Experience, and then young players, and also to show the younger players in the academy there's a path to the first team. Just be the queen of the Chelsea perspective herself says, I didn't get a chance to check the Chelsea cell go through. We haven't seen anything yet, but hopefully we hear about it by the end of the day today. Says, why is LSD already talking in critical fashion without knowing that the kids what the kids are like? Again, his argument makes a sense to a certain measure, again, but I understand Tuchel has to look at them, but it makes sense to a certain point to check, given the situation we're in. Maybe there's no that luxury to say, okay, let's look at the kids, because the defensive line is an area where it's important we, find a fix that we can be guaranteed that will work. And then the kids may be a part of the team still, they have some, chance to play. Now, coming to you, Nick, I know you just joined back in. Tell us know if we sign some of these players, 2 or 3 of them, or even 2 of them, let's say we sign Kounde, who plays in the same position that Chalobah plays for us now, and we sign Cucurella, of which we hear the club are looking at him and they want to sign him. If he comes in. Again, if you argue Chalobah plays on the left, we already have Cucurella who can play in the left centre-back position and also as a left wing. where do you think signing these players leave Chalobah especially, and also Levi Colwill?
Yeah, well, Levi Colwill, I saw him yesterday. I like him and the way he plays. He's aggressive. I like the guy. First time I saw of him really. I saw, except for a couple of games with Huddersfield in the Championship. Yeah, he was unlucky with the goal. He had to be him, didn't it? Very unlucky. Wasn't his fault. Yeah, he's a great young prospect. And so is Chalobah still. He's still young, don't forget. And like you said it yourself. We can't, be like Arsenal, just have all kids in the team because we ain't going to win nothing. We need,
that wasn't my comment. That wasn't my comment. I read somebody's comment in the chat, but I get your point. Somebody in the chat.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Said it in the chat. He's absolutely right. Give him a 10 out of 10 for that. Yeah, and yeah. So Chalobah doesn't have to worry too much. He will get game time. Cole will have to wait a bit longer. We can't afford to start these kids, in front of the experience we're going to buy. That makes sense. We have to get Koulibally. We need a solid back line, and the solid back line is Silva, Koulibally, Kounde, free, and who else? Yeah, it's like 3 players we're going to 2 or 3 players we're going to buy. It's not like we're buying the whole team. We're not changing too many. And Chalobah will get time. He will come off the bench. He will get time to play like he did. He's a great young prospect still, great player. And so Cole will. I hope he comes in and does it, and they don't send him out on loan again, and give him a chance, because he's a good player. We don't have many on the left. We have Chilwell. He's going to need to be rested sometimes, and he can come in. So there shouldn't be any problems. The balance is the way to go, and I'm sure Tuchel knows that. We don't have to tell him. He ain't gonna have all kids or just experienced players, who will run out of legs. It's got to be a balance there, and there will be. And I'm very confident that we get these players in. We get Koulibally, Kounde. If we get Tchouaméni, if it's a big if, I know, and if Lukaku does go and we get Lewandowski, there's no reason why we don't win the league next season. No reason at all. So, we might not have to wait 2 or 3 years. Because we ain't going to be a massive change. It ain't going to be 7, 8 players coming in. Then, it's going to be 2 or 3 players. 3, maybe, 3, I would say. 3 or 4 the most.
Okay, Nick, I think I'm still be with you. I will still remain with you, so you give me your final thoughts. If you agree, can I catch up with the chat and come back to you for your final thoughts before I move to other panelists? Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And again, I want to say one more time, if you're in the chat, if you haven't, please do subscribe to the channel and also like the video, even though we've come to the end of the show, but the panelists also have to give their final thoughts. If you haven't liked the video, it pushes it to more people who would have the time to watch it. I know it's long, but surprisingly, one of our videos is clocking 12,000 views right now, even though it's a long video, because it's an interesting topic and very engaging. People still do watch it. Right now, I want to say, Anone Surana, welcome to the channel. Welcome here. Feel at home. Express yourself. And if I get a chance, I will read your input in the chat, because the Blue Morning Show is an interactive show. So nice to see you here. Hopefully you've subscribed already. Alex Becker's channel. I don't think we need any more academy in our defense. For this season, we need experience, young and older. Again, you need a mix of older people and older and younger defenders. In the middle, you could go with an older guy that's even 30 plus. We've learned that again, how well Thiago Silva fulfills that role, that age doesn't really matter. But you could argue on the flanks, especially if we're playing 3 at the back, you need a younger player to be able, to race against the position players who are pacey. Because if you don't go with pace on the flanks, then we have a problem. If opponents counter us, they're most likely going to get a goal. True Blue says when Peter Kenyon was in charge of transfers, clubs upped the fees and ripped us off. Marina was brought in to stop that by Roman. So constant criticism of her is nonsense. Roman had a final say. Again, Marina, to me, that's my own opinion, is a negotiator. Is she perfect? No, I think there are some instances you can look at and you say that's her fault. Thiago Silva will be our number one, but he has to rest. He can't play all games. We need those kids. If we don't develop them with game time, they will leave, and subsequent academy players will leave because they'd see no path to the first team. So great input right there. Small Salah, KDB were bought after playing against us. Nothing to do with the academy. Again, yes, most people don't understand that. We want a sharp players and a good players too. Yep, I get the point. I say, whoa, I got to watch the stream from the beginning. Yeah, you missed quite a lot. Colwell, Sammy Ages, John Terry when he came in, and Colwell is good. And again, that own goal in that playoff was just quite unfortunate. And if he wasn't there, the player will get a free pass to score in a goal. So, Nick, again, I'm going to start with you since I'm still with you. Your final thoughts on everything we've talked today before I move to all the panelists.
We've done a lot of speculating. Some players a few we're pretty sure Chelsea are after them. We know that, like Kounde, Koulibally, but we're just speculating. Really, we won't know till the summer window happens. And I just want them to announce that's it today. They have to announce it today and get everything over. It is more or less it's done anyway, but they should announce it sooner the better. Get everyone mind at ease. For the ones who are still worried, some fans are still worried it might not happen. But there's nothing to worry about. It's done. Everything's done, but it's just a official thing, official announcement again. That's all. It's a funny stream today, really. Talking about players we might not get, probably won't get, that's something unusual for the Chelsea perspective, because we didn't give much perspective, really. Talking about maybes and what happens. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Again, Jos Viola said something about, did you all see Regence's tweet after Vinicius scored in the Champions League final? We want to see it. If you have it quickly, we may look at it. Tell me if you inbox me that. I'm going to come to you, LSC. Let me know your thoughts on everything we've talked about, and if you're aware of the tweet that Jos Viola is talking about, tell us about it.
No, I'm not aware of the tweet. In terms of what we've discussed so far, with the players that has been on the short list, whether it's official or not, we've established the fact that Kounde will fit well and he likes to play for us. We've also explored the possibility of using De Ligt or Koulibally. And the consensus seems to be on the side of Koulibally because of his experience and personality on the ball, and how the possibility of him influencing the team in a positive direction. So that was for that. We'll talk about N'Golo Kante. His possibility of leaving. There's been a rumor flying around about him going to United, which I don't see the possibility of that happening. Some people suggested that, it's not going to be after money and all of that. The player might not be after money, but his agents, they will want to do that negotiation for him. They will want to be the one to clamor for it. So in that regard, you might not blame the player entirely. So we talk about players like Bastoni. They are going to be good for us. Yeah, that's yet to be seen. And there's been a report that has been a Wikipedia edit, maybe done by a sports fan or something. Yeah, that is another Tuchel army. I mean, Angola. Sorry, Antonio Kante signing. So yeah, they are a team that will have to watch this season because they're taking two of our players if we're actually in for Perisic and Bastoni.
Mm-hmm.
And with the current transfer, the current takeover of the club, if this saga continues, it's not resolved today, then that might even hurt us more. Yeah,
Complicate issues for us.
complicate issues for us and the players and the targets that we have at this moment. I'm not sure if Kounde is still in London because that means he's been waiting for a very long time.
Uh-huh.
So he may have to go and come back. So yeah, I'm still very, very critical of the entire scenario. Um, yeah, and in terms of Lukaku and his agents and all of that, we also discussed the fact that if he wants to leave, it's better for him to go.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember, the entire saga began when remember when we just won a Champions League and we were looking for a striker, and the rumor was, it was really, really hot that we were after Harry Kane, Haaland, and Lukaku. When it was obvious that we couldn't get Haaland, that Haaland's situation was getting sticky, I remember Lukaku went and had a meeting. It was sort of an emergency meeting with Samuel Inzaghi,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because he just came in as the new manager and pledged his support. So when I saw that at that time,
Mm-hmm.
last year, I said, "Oh man, this guy! Are you sure we should go for this guy?" When I saw that meeting, because he was talking to us directly because he knows we are after him. That's my perception. All right. So I believe that he didn't want to come and he was forced here. And the way the deal went down, and with the inclusion of Malansa and the amount of wages he's earning, it gets me really, really pissed off when I think about it. So
Yeah.
let's use this new ownership, as opportunity for a clean slate. Whoever that doesn't want to be here, you are free to go. And those of you that want to be here, you can remain, but do not cry, do not mourn, do not speak to the media, do not
Mm-hmm.
do anything that will put us in a negative light. That's it.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's a brilliant way to cap it up. But it's still something else just came to mind, but it won't take us 3 minutes. If you're in the chart, let us know of these 4 players you're looking at on the screen, or other players that's not on the screen, like Gavidio, like Killman. Also, Max Killman is a good option. I wanted to do a video on why Chelsea should sign him with my brother and friend Taron Sajdiva, but it just happens this is a busy period for him. We might still have the time to do it. Let us know 3 defenders you would like the club to sign. That would be good. They said here now that Reece James deleted the tweet in question. And then here he says he's deleted it. Chelsea fans flooded him with replies. I honestly just again says, yes, I saw it, but it doesn't matter. I don't hear any talk about Ian Matson. Again, just let us know the defenders you think the club would sign. And I think we'll talk about the academy products that should come back in and then be integrated in the team in another tweet. But we're focusing. There's a list of players that we're talking about at this moment. Again, there's something I saw here that says about I think Steve. That says I also. Again, wishing him congrats to Madrid, but then again, because he's a Chelsea player and because he's been linked with Madrid, they're saying we heard that Madrid say they want to sign Reece James again. Him congratulating Vini leaves a room for interpretation, but I wouldn't read too much into that. I think he gets a new contract and will stay at Chelsea for a while. I sell all the dead wood. Again, it sounds easy, but let me know how you do. If you're in the chat, let me know the 3 defenders at least that you would sign for us. Yep, language is important. And again, it's LSG, not LSD. LSD sounds like something else, and that's not what we're talking about here. Declan, let me start with you. Of all the players, even those that are not on the list of the players we talked about today, which three would you sign?
Kounde and Janova. That's it.
Gavi Joel, or you?
Okay. Well, I got to learn that guy's name.
Okay, you said Kounde, just two of them.
Yeah.
Why just the two?
And Koulibally, I guess too. I said, people might not agree, and I think I have to. Chelsea fans are impatient, and even though Todd Boehly sounds great, he came with a consortium. We're not going to spend like we did with Abramovich and run like a non-profit. We actually have investors now that care about our profit margin, and if Chelsea fans don't have patience, then we'll never build a big enough team. I mean, if it was up to the Chelsea fans, that's what I mean. We'll never build a good enough team to win trophies, because to get the best players is almost impossible, and to keep buying players is we don't have the resources for anymore. So if you want to see a great team that challenges for every trophy in and out, season after season, after a while, you're gonna have to make these players. You're gonna have to invest in some youth. You're gonna have to fill up some positions with academy players, and that saves on transfer fees, and we can throw money in some other positions. This thing of just get rid of players, we need experience and all that. Everyone might laugh at Arsenal, but Arsenal could become a really good team in 4 or 5 years if they keep going.
If they stay together, yeah.
And we are far behind. And I mean, people forget Man City and Liverpool spent money, and it took them quite a few seasons to get to the position we are. And I mean, Nick said it was a funny season. I mean, a funny stream. Of course, it's funny when you say, buy 3 players and we're going to win the league. That's why. I mean, Nick's been telling everyone some new names, but Nick's a golden goose, man. Whatever he says, he's been laying golden eggs. I mean, you said the stream? You said the transfer was going to happen, Nick?
Yeah, that's fun.
Okay.
I like that.
Go ahead, Declan, finish.
Yeah,
yes,
it's very positive. But people need to...
So the 3 for you are who?
Yeah, carry on, Declan.
What's your 3, Declan?
Sorry,
look, I just want Kounde and Janaval, and I'm hoping that someone else can fill a position. But if need be, if we can get one more on good value, like Thiago Silva was good value. If we pay heaps of money for Koulibally, might not be good value. But it'll be one more on a decent price, which I'm going with Koulibally.
All right, brother. Thank you very much for finding time to join us. I know you got to leave. Nick, since you're back on the panel before I go to LSG, see you later, brother. Much love. Nick, the 3 of the players, which of the 3 defenders would you sign? That's where we're at right now. Name the 3 you would sign, or 2, or even you don't have to. They're all not here. Just name the 3.
Well,
because we still have Cucurella. Yeah, go ahead.
Just defenders or anyone?
Just defenders. Just defenders. We're on defenders. Tomorrow we'll talk about midfield.
All right. Number 1 is Koulibally. 2, Kounde. And if I have another one, it has to be Cucurella for me. Cucurella, Koulibally, and Kounde. Okay,
Cucurella, Koulibally, and Kounde. I think that's the 3 that actually will be my choice. And I think, I don't know why we missed, and what was that play again that Liam Len mentioned? He mentioned, let me look at it quickly before I go to LSG. Sorry. Liam, can you remind me the player you mentioned again? But LSG, coming to you, which of the 3 defenders would you sign? They're all not here.
Yeah, for me, I think Kounde is already on the pipeline, so that's almost like a given. The other two will be Koulibally for sure.
Okay.
But there is this fullback, I think he plays for Lens, called Jonathan Klaus. I would want him to come in, not just because of his ability.
You said Jonathan Klaus.
Yeah, Klaus, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
Just
not
name
just
three LSG. You don't have to make a big move out of it. Just name 3 players.
No, leave him. He names it the way he wants. His name. Go ahead, LSG. Nick is really looking for a fight this morning.
I need a fight.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, LSG. Go ahead, so we can round up.
LSG is all right. It's undeclared. I have a problem with.
Okay. Go ahead, LSG.
So basically, I think the reason I'm mentioning him because he loves the club. He was asked what club he supports. He says Chelsea. What clubs he wants to play for. Now in the future, he said Chelsea. He's not making any bones about it. He's been a Chelsea fan since he was a kid. And he's doing well with Lens. So if anything, he will even be happy to come in there. He doesn't mind being on the bench, although he will want to play, but he's not going to be that kind of person that will be making issues out of not playing regularly. So Cucurella would be a better choice, a better option because of the Premier League experience. But I think he would be going to Man City. If they're after him, I think he will go there because he knows they will have the best probability of winning the league compared to Rod. So for those people, those fans talking about, we have to wait and all of that. Look at this season, even with us winning 2 trophies, right? Some fans with their reaction, they don't even, you would think we didn't even do anything this season, You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how many fans are ready to stay, and keep on seeing City and Liverpool fighting for the league? We cannot stay a season or, not talk about 2 seasons, 3 seasons. Come on, so we know, and that would be a step down. And this is my bone of contention with the new ownership, all right? I know it's not done, it's not completed, but if you use the language, tell me what to expect, right? If you use the language of keeping us, of maintaining the standard that Roma was doing, then you have to do the signing that Roma was doing, but not sign the right players. You have to spend money. You see what I'm saying? You have to upgrade. You have to, keep us at that level. But with the way they are speaking now, we are going towards that Everton territory.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And again, thank you very much. I will round up by catching up with what we have in the chat. Liam talks about Ian Matson, a coach. He said, I remember him. Hopefully Tuchel takes a look at him. And again, my choices will be, that is, if I have to present them in order, the list will be Bastoni. But again, if I have to choose, I would choose Kounde, De Ligt, given his ability to lead, even though he's still young, because we need to build, for now and for the future. I think he's able to fulfill it. And then Cucurella, given that the fact he's able to fulfill the left centre-back role and also playing the left wing-back position. Mikhail here, my brother, said Koulibally is right-footed as Kounde. Yep, he is. If Chelsea signed him, I have no choice, but I don't think Kounde will be perfect for the EPL. That's your argument, again, but let's see what happens, Steve. Steve, Chelsea, he will play on the right-hand side, not on the left-hand side. That's the truth. Again, most Chelsea fans think we're signing him to fulfill the Rudiger role, but I don't think that's the case. Steve, Chelsea, what you or what matters? No, it's what Tuchel decides. That's what matters. Yep, says Gavidiol or Cucurella, Koulibally, or then Kounde. That's the 3. I think that's a good choice. Koulibally, that's another good one, solid one, because given that we've come to the conclusion that Koulibally actually school-headed as Silva and can still lead without even speaking, because Silva leads with the way he plays. Again, that's something that's special. He says, when will Chelsea be allowed to sign players new ownership announcement doesn't mean we start signing play. Yep, the whole process has to be completed, and I think new license has to be offered too. I think that's the case, and thank you very much for pointing that out. So we're still kind of in a dire situation, if you ask me. Jonathan Klose is also a cheap signing and has 1 year left on his deal. So maybe the club are looking at such players. You never know, given that we don't have that much money to spend. LSC, the war and peace of football, Nick Blue. Government license sanctions has to be worked. Yep, again, that's the truth. And let's see, Kounde replaces Christensen, not Rudiger. Kounde, for me, replaces Azpilicueta because Kounde, I don't think, can lead the back line as well as Thiago Silva. Well, I think he'd be better off on the right-hand side. Koulibally will delete code, and then that's my argument. Still Chelsea again. Cucurella more a left back than the CB. Yep, no, left centre-back role, I think he can fulfill that. Again, that's my argument. If Liver, Cowell, any of your players played for a foreign team, this fan base would want them. That's the truth. We need to understand the sugar daddy Roman era has ended, and we need to be smart. Again, that changes whether we like it or not. We're facing the new reality, and the new reality is the new owners are profit-focused, and there's nothing we can do to change that. We must learn to live with it because they're not going to be spending recklessly or throw money at problems like Roman Abramovich did. So with that, I think we've come to the end of the show for today, and I want to say thank you to everybody on the panel, LSC and also Nick Blue. Please let me do this so you see their socials. Be sure to go follow them. Search Nicholas Properties 5. You'll find them all. And also LSG Sports, you will see that picture, the same avatar there. With that, I want to say thank you to everyone. Those in the chat, all the moderators for doing a brilliant job in keeping, monitoring the spams and all that. I want to say thank you to Steve Blue. Thank you to In Life No Limits. Thank you to Mikael for finding time to join. Thank you to Liam Len. Thank you to Steve Chelsea. Thank you to the queen of the house herself, Just Viola. And if I miss your name, please, my apologies. I'm only human. And with that, I say goodbye. God bless us all. See you all tomorrow for another Blue Morning Show. And cheers.